The views, information, or opinions expressed during the Geeks Under the Influence podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of RVA Magazine, Loot Crate, amzn.to, or their employees. Listener discretion is advised. Fuck off if you don't like it.
The thing that I intentionally didn't bring up before we started this episode was that, are we just talking about real sports? Or are we talking about, like, can I talk about the original Rollerball movie?
Oh.
Can I talk about Running Man?
If you can do that, then I'm talking about basketball.
Basketball.
Oh, no, that'll get brought up.
Dodgeball, bro.
That's going to get... That is going to get...
Dodgeball.
Balls of fury.
Balls of fucking fury.
That's going to get brought in, like, bring it on.
But then it goes into the whole... then it goes into the whole, like, what is a sports movie? Are cheerleading movies sports movies?
No.
Are
No.
racing movies
They're
sports
eye
movies?
candy movies.
Cheerleading is not
a sport.
Not a sport.
It's not a sport.
That's up for debate.
Just because it's
There it is.
athletically demanding does not make it a sport.
Thank you.
So what is that then?
American Ninja Warrior, they're not sports.
Whoa.
That's not a sport.
Agreed.
It's not a sport. It's a competition.
That's
but
a
it's not
competition
It's
or
not
a
a sport.
contest.
Athletes.
It's a contest.
Yeah, but
contest. Yeah.
you know, but is American Gladiators a sport? Because I don't think so.
It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's
American
more like
Gladiators
Not
is
the same thing.
It's the same fucking thing
No,
as
it is not.
American Ninja
It's just a
Warrior.
little more ridiculous, basically.
Yeah.
American Ninja Warrior takes a lot more athleticism, granted, but
Only
I would like to
difference.
see you all get through one obstacle. Is all I'm saying.
Oh, I'm not saying that I could. I'm just saying it's not a sport.
in American
Yeah.
Ninja Warrior.
That's like CrossFit's not a sport. CrossFit is.
Tell
a
me
sport.
one college that has an American Gladiators sports team.
They don't have American Gladiators, but like the Army and the Navy do have like CrossFit style.
That's not a sport.
competitions.
That's a
Oh,
workout routine.
That's true. Name one professional.
They are professional, but they're not paid like football players. But they're famous in their own right.
It's showing off your physical prowess as opposed to a actual sport. Is there scoring aside
Yes.
from
there
aside
is
from
a
the
scoring.
Yes,
aside
there
from
is.
the time that you make it to the
No,
end?
just
There's
time.
point-
Just
That's
time.
all it is.
The
Not
time
a-
equates points.
Hey, the strongman contest, a contest, not a sport.
Is arm
gonna make me
wrestling a
cry.
sport?
No.
So
No.
we cannot talk
Over
about
the top is not a
Oh
sports
no, we
movie.
can talk about how it's not a sports movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When all you got to do is show up for 10 minutes and pin some people in arm wrestling and then leave with a new fucking truck, that's not a sport.
So clearly, this is going to be an amazing episode. As
We're all so angry about it.
as we are going to argue, probably,
And spend the first 30 minutes talking about what exactly is a sports movie.
And
no
yes, but also talk about our favorite sports movies, and also about the sports movie tropes, and about our favorite kid sports movies and classic sports movies. As this is episode 119, sports movies for GUI podcast.
Geeks Under the Influence.
I love that Crump's always here in spirit.
He is.
Always here in
He's always
spirit.
here in spirit.
Always.
His sarcasm fills any room, whether he's there or not.
Yeah.
All right, we are going to episode 119, like I said, for sports movies. Football season has just started as of this past Thursday while we are recording this episode.
And hockey in a month. Hockey in a fucking month.
Hockey in a month.
They're tougher than football players.
Redskins are playing on Sunday, which I'm super excited about. But
Watch
yes,
them lose. That's my apologies.
take
young
off the
lady.
fucking Phillies hat.
I'm gonna get beat for this episode.
Yes,
over.
you will.
The break, I come back with one arm, sing like.
It's the same level as like Wars versus Trek on sports teams, where there's this like dyed-in-the-wool hatred for specific people because of the teams that you like.
Yeah, it does come down to that. How do you feel about that?
I feel like it's kind of overboard, except for Raiders and Phillies fans.
Okay.
Philly fans of just any of the sports teams from
I
Philadelphia.
can appreciate that perspective from the outside, and until you get a team, it's going to be really hard for you to like really tie yourself in emotionally. But I hope that happens for you one day.
Look, I have a baseball and a hockey team.
You have a hockey team. You kind of have a baseball
Who's your
team.
baseball team exactly?
The San Diego Padres.
Yeah.
The Padres.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's
Look, I also liked Bad News Bears, so that's like, let's put that into context there.
But that's a funny movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so is watching the Padres play. It's pretty funny.
They make a lot of money to suck.
That's true.
You know what? At some point, so did the Pirates, so did the Brewers. You know, there were a number of teams that had their slumps over a period of decades.
Hey, so did the Red Sox.
So did the
For
Red
a
Sox
very
for
long
years.
time.
Yeah.
Eagles don't even have a ring yet, but
Truth.
we still truck on.
Because you're all assholes.
Much to the chagrin of everyone else that loves football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that coming over there? 12 years? I'm not going into that. This
Yeah.
This isn't right. This isn't
just,
right.
Just
we don't want to fight. We want to. This is about talking about the things that we love, not arguing.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep it adult here.
Yeah. We're going to try.
Actually, fuck that.
Yeah.
Let's not keep it adult.
This episode is about sports movies. Football season has just started, and I am very excited about this episode because this is my birthday episode, which is
Whoa.
why I'm hosting, because I have always loved sports movies, so I am very excited to be hosting this episode. So we are going to start by introducing the panel for tonight. So I'm going to be introducing the first person to my left, which is Kyle Smash, who's wearing that shitty Phillies hat.
I think I see a vein in your forehead. Are you trying not to throw up or just throw something sharp at me? I can't tell.
It's a little bit of both.
That's cool.
You're also rocking the douche bro uniform of like the unbuttoned to the second button white shirt with the rolled up sleeves along with your Eagles hat. Like
I thought about bringing my gold chain just to kind of, make it legit. But I was coming from work, so I didn't have time to change into any of my nerd shirts.
I'm just assuming that when you get to work, you put on the gold chain so people just recognize what kind of a douche you are at work.
Oh, and I got the chest hair that pokes right here at the bottom, too, just to finish it off. And
yeah.
I'm really stereotypical. Like,
douche
hey,
bro.
it's a me. It's a Smash.
Yeah.
Douche bro.
The douche bro. That
The
is going
douche
to be
bro.
on the
Jaeger
closing credits
bombs.
on the video. It's going to be the douche bro, Kyle Smash.
Yeah.
All right, before I throw up in my mouth too much, I'm going to introduce our second panelist for tonight, which is little Swolemaid.
What's up, guys? It's been a while.
I am very excited that she is on this episode because she can clearly, from the beginning parts of this episode, have a differing opinion from others on what is sport and what is not.
We can't all be robots.
Is that because we're all men? I feel very insulted right now.
Are we talking about the Super Nintendo game Super Baseball 2020? Because there were actually robots in that game. No?
Sure.
Okay, fuck it.
Why not?
How about Blades on Sega? No?
No.
I'm the only
No.
one?
Yes.
You're the
Well,
only one.
fuck.
You look like a guy that would play
It's
a
a
game
hockey game.
called Blades.
It was the 90s.
That
What do
sounds
you want
like the name of maybe like your smaller friend in high school.
Wait, is it Blades with a Z? Because that would just make it so much better.
That's a
I
barber
think-
shop.
I think it's an S, but it could very well be a Z.
I think the
Who
movie's
knows?
got the Z though, right? Blades of Glory.
Blades of Glory.
Yeah.
Doesn't it have a Z?
Yeah, I think
Not
it
a
does.
good movie, but yeah, Blades.
It's
That's a sport
definitely-
movie.
No, it's not a good
Technically
movie.
a sport.
technically-
It
a
is
sports
technically
movie.
a sports movie.
That's true.
Olympic.
I'll give it that.
Olympic sport. Yeah.
If it's on Olympic level.
Yeah.
And to the left of the little Swolemaid is the always wonderful Lowdown Brown MacGyver.
What's up, guys?
Are you excited? Are you excited
boy
to
good.
be here tonight?
Oh yeah, I love fucking sports movies.
Good and terrible.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
really excited.
Yeah.
Really excited to talk about this. This is a great topic.
This was
Yeah.
I
It
was,
really is. It's a great topic.
It
I
was
don't know why
one of
we haven't
those
done it
like
yet.
no shit. Why haven't we done it yet?
Yeah, exactly.
Episodes.
But we have a lot of those. I feel like.
Yeah,
I feel
we
like
do.
almost every third episode is a oh shit. Duh.
Yeah, duh. We should have done this a long time ago.
You almost feel like Sean Lucas should be on here, but then you realize that
It's wrestling.
It would. Oh, that's right. He likes baseball too, doesn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
He likes hockey.
I
Likes
will
hockey.
stand by the statement. Wrestling is not a fucking sport. Well, no.
Wrestling-
WWE
is
wrestling
not a sport.
is
That's
not
a
a
sh-
sport.
MMA, UFC,
That's a
MMA,
sport.
UFC, Greco-Roman, and the Olympics
Yes.
are sports.
Boxing's a
100%.
That's a show. They're putting on a
Yes.
show. It's like no, it's Disney on Ice, way more athletic.
Papa Shango was not a professional competitive athlete.
Well, neither was Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
That fucker walked like he just lumbered everywhere and slapped things down.
Holy shit. No, WWE is not a sport.
No.
It's like drama. It's theater.
Yeah.
It does take a certain level of athleticism, but it's theater.
Absolutely.
I'm not doing flips off those top
Kind
ropes.
of like Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
Where it's not
It's
a sport.
exactly.
But there's a lot more drama in Ninja Warrior because they like do a lot of boo-hooing and like tough guy bullshit, and it's really kind of sad.
you know,
wrestling's sad. Like it really is. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, let's get
Yeah.
through the introductions
Sorry.
before we start to argue.
Fucking wrestling.
And to my right is the always wonderful Hobbit.
Hi.
She's lying.
wait, you're
How's it going,
dating
guys?
her. You got the same introduction as Lowdown?
Right?
God, this.
Yeah.
What it comes down to is
I love you, Katie.
She
You're
loves me
awesome.
outside of the podcast. When I'm podcasting, she hates the dad jokes and my shitty like insightfulness as much as anybody else on this podcast. So
We are-
I fully understand.
We talked before the podcast about how I just kind of like zone him out and I don't listen to anything that he says.
Her eyes glaze over and she just goes, uh-huh.
My God. Yeah, you might as well be married.
When it comes to podcast. Yeah, I am Mike the Hobbit Bickett, normally the host of Geeks Under the Influence, but tonight I'm handing it over to the wonderful Katie Turbo. You can find me on Twitter at Mike Bickett. And moving over to our host for the evening, the hostess with the mostest, Miss Katie Turbo. Give it up. Woo! Birthday girl. Birthday girl.
Before we start the episode, I just want to mention that if you want to be in on anything that GUI is doing, you can go to GUI Podcast RVA on Twitter, and then you also can go to GUIPodcast.com, and that will bring up the art. We have new articles, episodes, links on there. And we will talk about later about the wonderful sponsors that we have that can be located on there as well.
Nice.
But right now we are going to concentrate on the
Sports
sports
movies.
episode.
Woo!
So I think to start this out, just because we have different opinions on what sports movies are and what aren't sports movies or sports in general, is to talk about your 3 favorite sports movies, which was very hard for me to determine.
That's
so
really tough.
Yeah, I'm wondering what you guys kind of think about this.
So I was a little torn, but I have Field of Dreams, Sandlot, and I was torn between Major League and Happy Gilmore.
Ooh.
Because the first Major League, not the sequel. They were equally, actually, Happy Gilmore is a funnier movie, but Major League is just always holds a special place in my heart. I think it's, and it also may have been, I've watched it so many times where I hate that fucking song Wild Thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But when he comes out at the end with the haircut and it's just the way that movie is, like, it almost gives you almost feel like that's probably like a real insider to that world at the time. I don't know how sports has changed from the inside now, but when you really look at it, the way that they did things almost seemed like a real legit depiction of that world, of of a baseball player's world, especially on a losing team.
Okay.
So loves it. And then, of course, Happy Gilmore because The Price is Wrong,
The
bitch.
Price is Wrong, bitch. Definitely.
And Subway, which is probably their biggest sponsor.
Oh, yeah.
So that's me. I would have to say I'm going to have to piggyback what Kyle said. Happy Gilmore is probably number 1 favorite movie in general. Just happens to be a sports movie. Anything with Adam Sandler is pretty funny. Well, his older stuff's pretty funny. So yeah, Happy Gilmore. Who doesn't like women in lingerie serving you beer? And I would have to say
With a midget.
League of Their Own, because girls playing baseball in skirts and kicking ass and being awesome. And Mike's phone just went up. Bickett.
Mike.
Yeah.
Rude.
Seriously.
Rude.
Was that a
Hashtag
screeching
rude.
cat? What was that?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Continue.
Anyway, continuing besides Mike's rude phone. And number 3 would probably have to be Mighty Ducks, because just brings back a lot of memories about looking at hot dudes playing hockey. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
But also the last good thing that Emilio Estevez did. That's like the last movie he was really in that was popular.
True.
That is very true.
Downhill
Pretty
from
close
Mighty
to.
Ducks.
There was
Downhill
one
from
movie he did with Cuba Gooding, and they're stuck in the city. It's got Dennis Leary. What the fuck is the name of that movie?
I
You
have
know
no
what I'm
idea.
talking
No
about?
idea.
They get stuck in the city.
They get stuck. He's with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Daybreak?
It's not,
Oh,
That movie's
the
terrible.
movie's terrible. Yes.
but besides, I think that one movie, that was the last, like Emilio Estevez,
Yeah.
like the popular. No, I think he did like 2 more after that. But that was
was
the
it.
first
That was
one
his
was the
prime,
real
though.
popular.
So that was
one,
his peak.
Yeah.
That was his peak.
Mighty
Like
Ducks.
Mighty
Repo
Ducks
Man
was
is
his
probably his best movie.
peak.
Yeah.
Men,
And then-
Men at Work.
Men at Work is
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah,
That's
Men at-
solid.
But Repo Man.
But
Repo Man.
That
Yeah.
Repo
Man
Man dough.
That. All right. I had to go with The Sandlot. I fucking love that movie so much.
Mhm.
The Natural.
Okay.
Yeah. Who doesn't want somewhere lightning to strike a tree and just carve a bat out of it?
Yeah.
Right? Who doesn't want to do that?
Right.
Like, I would love to do that.
It's a bat made by Thor.
Yeah, no shit. And it's kind of like a tie, but I'm gonna lean more towards Friday Night Lights. I really love
That's
that
a
movie.
good
That's a good movie.
I really
That's
love
a good
that movie. And because I love the whole thing about I love it because it revolves more around the town and not just individual people.
Yeah.
Following those lines, I almost put down Varsity Blues
Similar, yes.
because that's a great sports movie.
It revolves around the students, but it revolves around like how the coach and how hard he is and how like degrading he is to
A
those
Texas high school football team, like how heavy is that? Apparently,
Yeah.
could fuck some kids up.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say Remember the Titans too, like just bringing
Yeah.
people together in sports in general, like bringing people together and
Yeah.
dividing differences.
And that's one to talk about when we get to sports movies based on real life, because amongst unlike other sports movies except for maybe 42, there's that racial element to it and bringing together 2 sides. And that movie did a really wonderful job of depicting that. And of course, you got Denzel, he's fucking Denzel. I'd marry Denzel.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So Hobbit.
I gotta say, my first and foremost, I just rewatched it for the first time in years, and I forgot how much I love this movie. But The Natural is just, it's so fucking good.
Right.
And it also has like almost a note of like a supernatural element to it with
totally.
luck.
Yeah.
With like luck suckers and luck givers that happens with it throughout the movie. So it's almost like borderline fantasy movie within baseball.
We also have like one of Robert Redford's best
roles,
performances,
yeah,
period.
ever.
Yeah.
The second one, I'm going to go a little bit off on this one and say that it still technically counts as a sports
God.
movie, and go The Running Man
God.
with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
The movie's terrible.
It's so
good. What?
No, we talked about it on the Stephen King episode. The movie fucking sucks.
They compete, and like in the Game of Thrones, you win or you die.
Right.
That's Running Man. So I'm saying that's my second.
So it's like a really violent American Ninja Warrior.
yeah,
Right.
it's no.
No.
No, because you don't actually have to be athletic to win this. Actually, your smarts have as much play into it as your.
That said, the
that
main
is true.
character
athleticism.
is one of the most famous bodybuilders in the world. So, if he was a fat guy, I might follow that line of logic.
But there was a fat guy that was one of the Domino, and that
Yeah.
was a big old fat.
He was
dude
like the
with light
leader
bulbs on him.
before. He was like the winner before.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger got.
So
it.
is
God damn it,
Gladiator
Domino.
a sports movie?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. That's
Yes, it
old
is.
sports. Old school
That's
sports.
old school.
That's OG.
Ooh,
Alright.
I might want to change my answer.
There we
Right.
go.
Gladiator.
Yeah,
Gladiator.
we're rock.
That was the.
So the Hunger Games is a sports movie.
Yes, 100% a sports movie.
that's a contest of. I guess that falls along with Running Man.
a
Yeah, there you
contest
go.
of who wants to not die the most.
But that's
Exactly.
the only rule is don't die.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what are you willing to do to not die? That takes a lot. Yeah.
What is? Oh God, now I can't remember the movie, but I was just reminded
Royale?
of it. What? No,
Oh.
no,
Oh.
the
Not a sports
movie
movie, but
where
watch it.
it's the guys that hunt the homeless man.
Reindeer Games?
Is that a fucking? No, not Reindeer Games. Where it's the homeless man in the woods, and they. Oh fuck, what is that?
It's
movie
based
called?
off of a very old story.
Are you sure
short
this
story.
is a movie and not something that you witnessed in your life?
or something
Oh,
that you
no.
talked about for a bachelor
I know what
party.
you're talking
that's
about.
true.
Yeah.
Basically, they kidnap
Deer Hunter?
men and then they set them free in a wooded area and then
it's
hunt them
called
down.
The Pest, starring John Leguizamo.
The Pest. That's actually very close, but I can't remember the name of it. It's a really old short story because I remember being English class in 12th grade and them
I read
teaching that to us.
It was probably called The Most Dangerous Game.
But
Because
anything,
that's what
if
that's
you
called.
are so right on that,
Yeah.
like
anything involving hunting, hunting's considered a sport. So
Yeah.
technically,
So cheerleading's considered a sport.
who considers that a sport?
Okay, and my third movie.
Yeah.
My third movie is actually a very lesser known movie, but I got to bring it up because I love this movie unabashedly, and I got Katie to watch it with me a couple months before we did this episode. Is Necessary Roughness?
yes,
with Scott Bakula and Sinbad.
fucking Sinbad.
And Kathy Ireland as
That's
the kicker.
right. And she was looking perfect.
Talk about like women's rights. They pulled in Kathy Ireland to be the kicker on a college football team when nobody else was willing to let a woman on to play men's football, and Necessary Roughness did it before anybody else did.
Yeah, I fucking love that movie. I actually went to see that in theaters when I was a
Nice.
kid. It's fucking hilarious.
It just jumped into my brain, but actually a movie that I loved from the 80s and back then it really is. I guess you consider it a sport now. Was BMX biking. It was rad.
Oh yeah.
First off, you send me an angel playing while you have a dance off on a bike from the chick from fucking Full House.
So, honey, is Airborne a sports
Yes,
movie?
you're goddamn right. Airborne's a sport
Goddamn
because
right.
there's a competitive downhill fucking rollerblading
There totally
scene
is.
in that. Airborne.
Oh,
Holy
dear
shit!
Lord.
For my birthday, this is how much my girlfriend loves me. Got me
And hates
Airborne.
myself.
Got me Airborne on the DVD.
On that DVD.
On that DVD because unfortunately, and this is a fucking disservice to Blu-ray, has never been released on Blu-ray.
No, they couldn't get the rights for some of the music.
No, because the company that owns the rights to Airborne understands that movie is best seen in DVD format.
Or if you pay $1.99 on YouTube.
You upgrade to an HD format, it's going to take away all the wonder.
The shittiness
The
of
wonder.
it.
It's like watching porn in HD. You just don't do it. Like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
that's
you don't
why.
wanna-
That's why.
It's definitely not the channel 43 I remember. I don't use as much of my
Yes,
imagination.
Airborne. I changed my answer. Not Necessary Roughness. Airborne is my third favorite.
I'm throwing rad into mine.
Okay.
Because Send Me an Angel. That's why.
All right.
Ooh, Teen Wolf. That's a sports movie.
And
The
Teen Wolf
basketball.
2.
Teen
Yeah,
Wolf
Teen
2.
Wolf 2 with Jason Bateman.
That was
Yes.
more, yeah. I think that was
That was
more
boxing.
because that was the entire thing was about him winning boxing.
And the first one's about him winning basketball.
It was about him playing basketball, but mostly about the girl.
And not only playing basketball, but also surfing on the top of a van.
Beach Boys,
That's
baby.
right.
That's right.
So we're going to go to my 3 favorite sports movies, which actually have been mentioned, are League of Their Own. Apparently, when I was younger, I watched that movie so much that I wore out the VHS.
Amen.
So my sister a couple years ago bought it for me for Christmas on DVD because she was so excited about it.
On the DVD.
On the DVD. Field of Dreams. I think we'll probably get more into these types of movies, but Kevin Costner with sports movies, I mean, he's just racking it up with those.
Oh, yeah.
And Remember the Titans. I love that movie. I love that movie for Denzel, but I love that movie mostly because of Opie.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say that the saddest scene in that movie for me was when he's standing across from his best friend, I guess, at that point in the movie after the car wreck, and he said, left side, strong side, and they have that whole back and forth. Fucking cry. I to this day I would still cry a lot. It's just it's a sad but really powerful. Like I feel great and fucking really sad at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, let's go do this shit. Well, I'm going to go cry for a minute.
That's like every sports movie where there's that moment of just like, you got to play without me. I can't do it because I'm dying, or like I got hit really hard and I'm in the hospital.
I'm not going to do it, coach. I can't get in there and
can't
see
do-
it. See?
And there's the guy watching it on the TV from his hospital bed being
Right.
like, you can do it for me. And then they do. And that's like, that's a thing.
That is a thing.
That is a thing.
It's a very powerful thing.
But I feel like all of these movies have also mentioned a lot of the classic sports movies that we've kind of seen throughout the years. I mean, League of Their Own, I feel like, is up there. And Field of Dreams, I feel like, is up there. What else do you guys feel like are classic sports movies that you've seen?
The Natural
Yeah.
and Brian's Song.
Oh, good.
That's a
call.
tearjerker
wow.
right there. That's a tearjerker.
One I caught the tail end of the other night that Katie had watched before she went to bed, and I caught the tail end when I got home, was For the Love of the Game.
Oh,
That's good.
yeah, that's a fun one.
Oh, God, just
That's a
when
fun
Kevin Costner talking to himself on the mound at the end of that game, be like, come on, old man, you got one more in you. You know, just like trying to champ himself up, and then coming up to the mound and being like, no, are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? He's like, no, just, my arm's rubber, but I think just give me this one more guy. It's just that it's so fucking ham-fisted, ridiculous, over-the-top, like sports movie trope, but you just dive in and you're like, yeah, you're right there with him. Like, let him pitch for that one more guy. Just into it.
I want to talk about Field of Dreams real quick because I remember as a kid, the thing. Let's be the whole underdog story. Well, it's the base of that's inspiration, right? So you overcome these odds. For that movie, we had a slight argument about what we would consider to be an underdog. I actually agree with you. I've thought about it, and I agree with Field of Dreams being one because although admittedly he was schizophrenic and and wasting all of his money on a baseball field for ghosts.
That's the name of the episode is Baseball Field for Ghosts.
It still, of course, had that supernatural element to it, but it was more about people telling you or showing you what you are not able to do because there's something in your way, and basically saying, every time there's a roadblock, just remember it's all in your mind and you can drive right through it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And Field of Dreams is the epitome of that. You have great sports movies, Bull Durham and The Natural, but when it comes to and Rudy falls along with Field of Dreams, when it comes to those overwhelming odds in yourself to overcome that, it doesn't have to be the pitch down the field. It can be anything. And for him, it was making a dream come true and hoping his family doesn't leave.
I think it's the epitome of you can't. It's like the whole world telling you can't and you're not good enough and you can't do it. And, sports movies really do you feel that for the athlete, oh, you can't, you're too old or you're, whatever it is, whatever they're trying to overcome, and just being able to be not F you, bro, I can, watch me do it. You know what I mean? And that feeling that you get when you watch this movie, being cause you're just inside, your gut, you're rooting for me, yeah, you can, just do it.
Do you inspire?
Yeah,
I love that scene in Field of Dreams where it's like, fuck you, brah. Watch me. I love that. I love that scene.
Do you even dream, bro?
Okay, new name.
Do you even dream, bro? But then I don't want to break too far away from the classic movies because I still feel like there's something need to be mentioned. But going along with that, where it can be anything, on overcoming the odds. I think it's one of the reasons why I picked Friday Night Lights as my third one, because the team overcome the odds, but that one individual could not. Mm-hmm. He could not overcome that.
Right.
He fucked himself up.
Yeah.
And that's that. There's no overcoming that. And I think I like the reality of that because the trope makes you feel like there's hope for everything. That brought it down no, he's fucked. Mm-hmm.
I'm actually really disappointed in all of us at this panel that it's not something that was brought up as the top movies of all time. When we're talking about not winning at the end of the movie, fucking Rocky.
Oh,
dude.
The first Rocky.
First Rocky, dude.
Yeah.
That is one of the quintessential, most classic sports movies of all fucking time. And it's been a running thing through the entire Rocky series, including Creed, which I consider a modern classic.
That's a great movie.
Creed is incredible.
I cried so many times throughout that movie.
He had to make up for Rocky Balboa.
No, fuck you. I loved Rocky Balboa.
Oh, Rocky Balboa was awesome.
There's a great line in there that says it's not how hard you
bullshit.
can get it, not how hard you can hit, but how hard you can get hit and keep going.
1 through 4, Balboa and Creed. 5 can fuck off. But Balboa was good.
Yeah, 5 where he's punching the bag at the same time as the dude that he taught.
Yeah,
it's just so fucking cheesy.
The Street Fighter scene where he does the leg
Street Fighter scene was the best part.
But
he does that Rocky leg sweep where it's you don't move too fast anymore.
Talk about the fucking template for an underdog story.
Oh, yeah.
Rocky. Holy shit. Here's a dude that he got pushed up to play the champion. He had to go against the champ. And you followed him throughout the entirety of it, and he didn't win. but he won in people's hearts. And he held on hell of a lot longer than anybody else did. Expected him to.
No, I completely agree. I mean, if you look at the character's past, he went from collecting for the mob to getting into a boxing match that eventually changed his life. So, everything changed. It wasn't just he won or he didn't win or he tried hard. It was like he put some of the worst possible things behind him and just went forward and became a decent person.
Like getting married to that not attractive woman.
Right, who worked at a pet store. You know what I mean? Like,
looked about as good as his trainer.
Yeah. So looked like, someone's like old Nana from the 40s. Like she just... Go ahead. Were you...
No, I was
You
pointing
had
to
me
her.
at looked as good as the trainer.
I mean, Mickey didn't look bad.
Hey,
Rock.
I love that
want you to
man.
eat
greasy, fast speed.
I want you to eat lightning and shit thunder.
I love
is
me some
probably-
Burgess Meredith, so don't start.
That's
I know, I'm like-
that's probably what Adrian said in bed while they were fucking. It's like, I want you to eat lightning and shit thunder.
I'm going to give you this
So
gold
movies
chain.
where people don't win reminds me of one of my favorites, which I was going to talk about when we got to kids sports movies. But Cool Runnings, man, is the best. It's the whole underdog. It's underdog and not coming out on top. They didn't win. They picked the sled up and walked it all the way to the end.
No,
and
literally, they were not on top. They were flipped upside
under.
down.
They were under the sled.
You dead man.
And
No.
They were just trying to bobsled in the upside
Right.
down. They were well ahead of their time.
It's a new sport.
Was that John Candy's last movie?
No.
No.
Did he do one more
I don't
after
think
Wait,
that?
you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
He died in like 95?
It was probably like he probably voiced Camp Candy as his last role that he did.
Oh, the cartoon? Holy shit, I forgot about that.
Yep.
How do you remember that? Oh,
How do I remember half the
it
shit
wasn't
I know?
good though.
No, but he did nothing to
It's
he
not
he
good.
did nothing to lose or excuse me, nothing but trouble with Chevy Chase and Demi
Yes.
Moore. And then there was that around the same
In
within
Drag.
the same years. Yeah, in drag.
Fucking drag.
Dan Aykroyd.
Oh,
fucking
God.
judge.
Yeah,
Both is
if,
so gross.
if any of you listening have or watching have not seen Nothing But Trouble,
Yes.
it's I'll warn you, it's not good.
And Digital Underground's best song.
It also has an early Tupac.
Oh, very fucking early.
So he died in 1994. His last movie was actually in 1995 with Canadian Bacon.
Oh yeah,
I
that was
forgot.
not a good movie though.
Yeah.
So he
Cool
filmed that
Runnings was-
before he died.
Cool Runnings was 1993.
Okay, so that was after Nothing But Trouble. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Wow, fuck, I forgot about that. I love you, John Candy.
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
I love
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I'll take Uncle Buck, and fucking even Home Alone.
Oh, no shit.
Oh, he's so great in Home Alone. Polka King, Polka.
Well, and apparently a lot of his lines were ad-libbed.
Yeah.
So it actually like fucked up the actress that he was playing against because she didn't really know how to react. So she was like, all right, creepo. And they kept those scenes.
Going on with like both the classics and kid sports movies too is Mighty Ducks.
Amen.
Yes.
We're not going to talk about the third one, but
No.
the first and second were, oh my gosh, I
What was
remember.
the third one?
It was them going to college.
Got you to talk about.
Yeah,
it.
so they go to Olympics and then go on to college. Like, how do they go down for a sequel?
Right.
I can't think of another kids hockey movie before Mighty Ducks. There weren't too many hockey movies before Mighty Ducks in the first place. You're talking like Slapshot, and
Yeah, can't think
that's
of really any.
That's about it, as far as I can think. So Mighty Ducks was really kind of like paving the way for the later hockey movies. I mean, there's been some really good. I mean, Miracle is like also a modern classic, I would say.
Mystery Alaska. Did you ever see that?
Oh yeah, about Wayne Gretzky's
Oh,
dad.
With Russell Crowe.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a great movie.
I'm just over here talking about Goon.
motherfucking
I'm
Goon.
just saying, Goon is fucking awesome.
So I think I'm one of these people. I have not seen it yet.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
It's
so
incredible.
I see it come
amazing.
through like my list all the time,
So
and I'm like,
good.
I'll watch it later.
It was co-written by one Jay Baruchel, and the sequel, Goon: Last of the Enforcers, was not only co-written by Jay Baruchel, but was motherfucking directed by Jay Baruchel. You motherfucker, mic drop.
That was not even worth the mic drop.
No.
Get back over there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad he's doing straight to video shit. His career's really picking up there.
Limited release in theaters. It's an indie movie. You fucking Philly loving piece of shit.
It's in one art house because they got sent the fucking film by accident.
Oh yeah,
free.
because how many
I guess we'll play it.
Yeah, right. It's free. Fuck it. Whatever.
how many movies that you love got limited release? Oh, fucking No Country for Old Men got limited theater fucking release before it got nominated for
That's
like
an art-
30,000 fucking Oscars.
That's an
you
artsy
piece of
film,
shit,
motherfucker. That's what it's supposed
take
to
off
be.
your stupid fucking Philly hat.
Wait.
and sit down.
Wait, wait,
You know
wait.
what?
You
Put
piece
on
of
your
shit.
I
chart.
know you're not trying to compare No Country for Old Men versus Goon 2.
Yes.
Fuck you.
It's the same
Fuck
thing.
you.
It's
Fuck
that-
you.
it's
Fuck
that-
you.
it's that
Fuck
one
you.
scene-
Fuck you. No. It's not even. There's not even a comparison. No Country for Old Men is amazing.
Is that one scene where
Goon 2's
the
fun.
hockey player like flips a coin to the other team and he's like, "Call it, call it," and then sets it on the table.
Then like
it
he's
better-
just like, you didn't see me.
As a hockey,
and then Jay Baruchel's just like, "I'll fart on it," and then just walks away.
No, do it again.
Yeah.
Do it in his voice.
No, I'm good.
Do it in his voice. Come on.
I'm good.
Let's hear your voice again.
No,
do it.
Come on.
friendo.
No. Let's hear,
No,
let's hear
no,
your
I'm
voice
good.
again. Come
No,
on.
I'm fine.
Do
Come
it.
on. Hey guys.
We're
what was it?
diverting from the.
Another
There
great
we go.
kids
There it is.
sports movie.
What do you got, Katie? What do you got?
Also talking about a movie that doesn't end up on like a happy kind of stance is Little Big League.
Yes.
I used to, oh my gosh, Little Big League and Rookie of the Year. I used to watch those movies. I felt like in rotation because I was so excited about them. And like trying to find the quotes for tonight or the readings for the drunken scenes tonight. I looked at Little Big League and I couldn't find a good one for that. But going through those, it reminded me of the scene in Little Big League where, you know, somebody comes into the locker room and he's like, they're not leaving. And he's like, oh, who's not leaving? And he's like, everyone's not leaving. When he like gets the standing ovation for being this person, I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. This is the greatest scene.
Well, and you touched on Rookie of the Year. I fucking loved that movie.
yes.
Love it.
Also, it broke records when it came out. Not because of viewership, but the amount of dollars they got for product placement
Yeah.
in that movie. That was a new thing at that time, product placement, and they actually made their budget back on the product placement they put in that movie. Yeah. But that being said, I fucking loved the shit out of that movie, and it made me realize that I didn't actually have to be good at sports. I just had to like horribly disfigure myself in just the right way so that I would have like my muscles heal weird so I could fucking...
I will give anybody $1 during the break if they can remember his last name.
Rauschenberg?
No.
Rauschenberg?
It was always pronounced wrong. That's
Yes.
what I remember.
And that's why I'm doing this.
Baruchel?
That much brain
no,
power
you're
is not
correct.
worth $1.
Yeah.
You're correct.
So you got it. I do love that movie, but as we've been talking about it, I'm thinking about the ridiculousness and the profound misunderstanding of the human body that would have to go into making that movie, because
Not scientifically accurate.
it's not exactly.
Yeah, it was not.
Your arm isn't going to turn into a cannon because your tendons are tight.
That's the whole point, though. It's like that hope that, like, maybe I'll fall out of a tree or something crazy will happen and I'll be famous
Yeah.
for like
I get-
5 minutes.
And I tried so
I know.
much.
I get struck by lightning and get
Yeah,
superpowers.
exactly.
Something. Yeah.
And we're going to talk about ridiculousness of kids' sports movies. Let's talk about Angels in the Outfield.
I knew you were going to say
Yes.
that.
Fuck
Yes.
Christopher Lloyd. Come on.
Yeah.
So good. Danny
and
Glover.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt
And Danny Glover.
and Danny Glover.
I will take that over the Ted Danza monkey movie. What was that called?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I forgot
Are you talking about
that.
Ed?
Ed.
Yes,
Yes.
Ed.
With
No, not Ted Danza. Matt LeBlanc.
Matt
Yes.
LeBlanc.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
that
Tony
was-
Danza was in Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah. He was the down and out player.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yes.
And he's the one that Joseph Gordon-Levitt was praying to get better.
There's nothing great like sports, a man and his monkey. It's very
Okay.
inspiring.
Whoa.
I just figured it was a spiritual sequel to Every Which Way But Loose. That was my personal feeling on it.
We need to put that one down in an article.
Yeah, right.
That bitch needs to be put on paper.
But Angels in the Outfield was a good movie. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
it
enjoyed
was,
that movie.
yeah, it was a good, like, feel-good movie.
And Christopher Lloyd
I
hadn't
like
done
that.
shit.
It's a feel-good movie. I wouldn't say it was a good movie.
It was a feel-good
feel-good movie.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Totally.
feel-good movie.
It was a movie basically trying to get people to like the Angels. Like, that's it.
Yeah,
Like,
no shit.
Because that team is terrible.
The Angels
and
were
has-
kind of dicks for a while.
Oh, they've been for a while. They had that one good year like 6 years ago, I think, and that was it.
Dun, dun, dun.
And at the time, to remember Christopher Lloyd because he didn't do anything besides like the Dream Team after Back to the Future.
No, he was my favorite Martian.
Yes, he was.
Oh, and Suburban Commando too.
He was.
Oh, yeah.
With Hulk Hogan. Forgot
Suburban
about
Commando.
that. Yeah, dude, that movie's awesome. I love
What are
that
you gonna
movie.
do? You gonna tear me from limb to limb? Are you gonna gun me down? No, man, it's the '90s. I'm gonna sue you. Best line of that movie.
I love that movie. Anyway,
We got to get back to Mighty Ducks because like we
Yes.
touched on it, but it was just everybody agreed like, yeah, that's probably the best kids movie ever. But can we talk about Dat Knuckle Puck Dough? That is one of the few times that I've seen a sequel where I felt like I kind of liked the sequel better than the original fucking movie.
Yes.
I was gonna say, yeah, and two, man, like that whole like line dancing scene kills me every fucking time, man. They're on like skates, just fucking playing
I
like
forgot
some
that-
country song and lassoing and shit.
They had
Oh,
the guy
fucking
from
great.
Texas.
Yeah,
Because it was the United States. It was not the. It was like from every state or
yeah,
whatever,
the Texas
right?
Olympic, yeah,
The Olympic team.
I mean, but that scene and what taught him how to be a team, like
Yeah.
that the fucking country music.
Who fucked him over the most in that? The Russians?
No,
Who was it?
Iceland.
Iceland is
Iceland.
very nice. Or no, it's Iceland.
Greenland is full of ice.
Iceland is very nice.
Okay. No, but whoever their main components towards the end of that movie was, I thought it was Russia.
No, it was Iceland.
No, it was Iceland.
It was
Because he
Iceland.
starts dating the coach.
That's right.
It
that's
was like
right.
super
This is the
fucking
blonde.
like
Yeah,
shitty
the
towards like
blonde.
Scandinavian countries. Like, yeah, they're all fucking like shitty and blonde. Like, fuck those guys. And I'm like, over here, I'm watching this movie like, I love the Mighty Ducks and I'm shitty and blonde. Like, fuck. Fuck.
Remember the Jamaican hockey team in D2? The
Yes!
Jamaican team in
Yes.
the Olympics. They had like the fucking Rasta like jerseys.
Hey man, you want to kiss my puck?
No, it was like 90s like spray painted like pink and yellow and green. It was
It's
ridiculous.
like, okay, how can we stereotype every single like,
Exactly.
place here? Like,
Exactly.
oh, okay,
Hey.
we're gonna take just a cue from Cool Runnings and just like
No,
grab onto
no,
that. And
fuck
it'll
that.
be
That's
okay.
a cue from wrestling, where everybody's an amazing stereotype.
Who were the two the big boys?
The Bash
in there?
Brothers.
The Bash
Bash
Brothers.
Brothers.
That was Foggy.
Yeah, it was Foggy.
From
Foggy
Daredevil.
Foggy
Yeah.
Nelson.
Foggy Nelson.
Foggy
yeah.
Nelson, which is amazing to me because at that time he's like he's this big motherfucker and now he's just the kind of short fat motherfucker. Like it's
Yeah,
not,
he's not. He's not intimidating
really
at all.
nice.
when you're not around other kids, you look kind of small.
Wait, is he
Yeah.
Foggy or was he the?
No, he's Foggy.
No, he's Foggy Nelson.
He had the long hair. He came in after the fact. He was like the big.
He was in the second one.
He was in both. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in
Yeah,
both.
Yeah,
one
he
and
was in
two.
the first one.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
He was
yeah,
in-
that's
yeah, he was in
yeah,
both.
yeah.
His
the Bash
partner
Brothers.
came in the second one.
Okay, that's
Yeah, he was the bully that they
Right.
got to
Right,
play.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just weird that was fucking Nelson. Like it blows me away that he was in fucking Mighty
that's
Ducks.
the tie-in is that like he was such an angry person. Then he found Matt Murdock.
And realized he had
And-
no idea what anger was.
He had no idea. It was like, here's a man that can't see, that is able to handle his life better than he is. And he's like, fuck, I got to tie my shit up. And then he actually, through that friendship, found college and got a lawyer job. And so Mighty Ducks is a fucking prequel to Daredevil.
Or years
fuck
and
off.
years of therapy is the other side of that.
It was so,
I like to pretend that it's just a prequel to Daredevil.
you know.
Well, and it, like to kind of go off that too. I look how many people found their start with Mighty Ducks, like Joshua Jackson with Dawson's Creek. The girl,
gonna say Pacey.
the girl that was in Wet Hot American Summer.
Yeah.
She found her start
Yeah.
there. Like, there's so many people that actually had careers
else?
after that. There was
There was in the
was
second
a-
one.
The dude
there
from
was
the kid from the
way
Sandlot
too
was in
many.
it too.
Yeah.
The kid from the Sandlot was in D2.
So what you're saying is children that act in Mighty Ducks end up being successful actors, and children who don't end up being addicts.
And adults that
Yes.
act in Mighty
That's what you're
Ducks, like
saying.
Emilio Estevez, see the end of their careers.
I think it's
you're
children
done.
who act in Disney movies. It's not a Disney movie.
Yeah, it is Disney.
It's
Yeah.
a Disney movie. Yeah, children who act in Disney movies end up becoming popular, lose their mind, shave their heads, and
What
so on and so
movie
forth.
did I just see the fat kid where he was skinny in? He's been in some movies recently, and he's like thin and grown up.
No idea.
Yeah. You
We don't know.
No. He
shit.
was in Freaks and Geeks. That's what it was.
Was he?
I just rewatched Freaks and Geeks. He was in Freaks and Geeks. He lost weight and he was grown up by then, obviously.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he was in Freaks and Geeks. Remember, the guy who was in Heavyweights and Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
Goldberg.
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 Yeah.
Yes.
Freaks and Geeks.
You're talking about the Great Hambino, also known as the
No.
Big Green.
No.
No, not the Great Hambino.
No. Goldberg, the goalie. Was in Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah, that's what he was called though in Mighty Ducks.
Oh,
I thought.
okay. I thought you were talking about Sandlot.
No, I was talking about
No.
Mighty Ducks.
Okay.
I'm talking about Mighty Ducks.
We're saying everyone from the Mighty Ducks grew up to do other things, blah, 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 and like he was in Freaks and Geeks.
Okay.
That guy grew up to do a couple other things.
He did
a
some
few other
shitty
things.
movies too.
Well,
Yeah.
he did The Big Green, which was basically like trying to be the Sandlot, but with soccer. And that doesn't work at all. Don't try to do a Sandlot knockoff because you're going to fucking fail.
Like the sequel did.
Fuck that sequel.
Did that actually go to the theaters?
No, it was straight to DVD
Okay.
bullshit.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I didn't know there was a sequel.
It's terrible.
No.
It's fucking awful.
I heard of it, but I didn't watch it.
That's like Home Alone 3. Like it went straight to DVD.
And 4
Yeah.
and 5, and there's a remake.
I love how you got to give Home Alone Lost in New York some love.
We said 3.
Sure. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm really proud,
Yeah,
like
two-
because you
two
got to
is
give
fine.
it some love. Like, but
Even with the Donald Trump cameo.
fuck. I want to go along with the classics. Is one thing we really haven't touched on too much is Rudy. That was like in the 90s. That was the pinnacle underdog story. Like when that came out, I dared anybody by the end of that movie not to be fucking tearing up. And it was also, I'm pretty sure, John Favreau's start.
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
It
Before
was.
he- yeah.
He was his
God,
best
he was
friend.
so young. He
Yeah,
was,
he was
so young.
young.
And he gets
Before
married to the
Swingers.
girl.
It was just before. 'cause
He
if
was
you-
so. It was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
way before
I think
Swingers.
that was
Like
his
3
very
years.
first movie.
Now, anybody listening or watching, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the money that he got from that role in Rudy is what he used to actually finance Swingers.
He may have.
If you haven't
Wait.
seen Swingers, guys, you need to like.
Was Swingers his first movie or
First. That
His
was his
first directorial
Hey,
Okay.
movie.
It's money. That's the
so money.
It's
That
so
movie's so
money.
money and it
So
doesn't
money.
even know it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So fuck you, Hunter, who's not here right now, used to live by that goddamn motto, and every shirt he owned said money. I
Swingers
swear
is
to
amazing.
God.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Swingers is one of my favorite. Like I have a lot of classic movies. Like Swingers. This is another conversation all in itself. But like Pool Hall Junkies is another
yes.
one
Fuck
of my
yeah.
favorites.
Yeah.
Like okay, so Pool, is that a sports movie?
Pool
Hall
is a
Junkies?
sports.
Yeah.
Pool
So
is
the
a sport.
Hustler and Color of Money.
Poker's a sport.
Oh, fuck. I just thought of a movie that Green Street Hooligans.
Oh,
It's a fucking sports movie, and I
that's
a
love that
damn
fucking
good
movie.
movie.
I
Hooligans.
love that fucking movie.
Didn't they have Jax in it?
That's the other Hobbit.
Didn't they have Jax from fucking
The other Hobbit's in that one.
Didn't they have Jax from Sons of
You all
Anarchy in
look
that?
alike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Short,
we
big
can
feet.
continue this conversation in the second half of the podcast. We are going to go ahead and take a break right
Holy
now.
shit, are we there?
Yep.
We are there.
Wow. Okay.
So when we get back, we're going to do what we're drinking, drunken scene. But we are currently going to talk about the other amazing and wonderful things that GUI has to offer you.
Mike the Hobbit, direct from Fallout on a trivia night, telling you to come here every first and third Monday for trivia between 8 and 10, 25-cent wings, drink specials, prizes, and tons of really inappropriate trivia. It's a lot of fun. Do you guys agree? Definitely come out and enjoy trivia every first and third Monday at Fallout. In addition to Fallout, Geeks Under the Influence takes over Wonderland on the corner of 18th and Main Street for Geeks Under the Influence trivia, ridiculous trivia, goofy music, great food, cheap drinks. 1727 East Main. Come and check us out 8 to 10 every second and fourth Tuesday.
That's the baseball team.
And now we are back for the second half of GUI Sports Movies. And before we start with what we're drinking, we just want to mention some of our sponsors. To begin with, we want to talk about amzn.to.
Amazon!
OG.
Raise the roof.
Yeah, I mean, OG is right.
Yeah, OG.
They've been around for a minute with us.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Can I continue?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
It's
fine.
Thank you.
He's just getting up in that brownie.
With all of these sponsors, you can all get them on the GUIpodcast.com link. There's amazon.com. There's Loot Crate for the Loot Crate September. It is robotic. And that is with stuff from Blade Runner 2049, Aliens, and Star Trek Mirror Universe.
Fuck. That
that's
crate.
cool.
That crate is insane. Like, I'm
I
excited
really
as
hope
fuck
it's a
about
Blade
it.
Runner t-shirt. Just
Yeah,
saying.
oh, God,
I really
yeah.
want a Blade Runner t-shirt.
I want some Blade Runner
Like
t-shirt.
is it old school Blade Runner, or do you think it's like
2049?
Oh,
Is that, yeah. That's finally giving
every
us
time
the
I see
chance
that
to have a Blade
trailer,
Runner.
I just get chills.
I wish I had 2 dicks so I could jerk off both of them over the idea of a 2049 t-shirt. Just
So anyone have a blindfold?
Oh, what's happening? This is not going to go right, or maybe it's going to go very right.
I will say that Loot Pets needs to pick it up a little bit because I'm always really excited about Loot Crate, and then I get to the Loot Pets and they don't have as much stuff as Loot Crate has, where I'm just like, my dog would love that, and you don't have this for her. So
they're pretty good about having a dog t-shirt that matches the t-shirt of the Loot Crate t-shirt.
I wanted a Zelda, and they didn't have Zelda last time.
Which, by the way, Loot Pets and all the other Loot Crate items that you can find, that all counts if you go through gypodcast.com through the links page.
My God, I know like 10 members of the Loot Pet people.
Go to Loot Crate through that link, and any of the crates that you buy, whether it be like a Firefly crate, any of that, we get credit. You just got to go through the link first.
And if you are a first-time subscriber to it.
It's a prescription.
It's
like,
a prescription.
Let's be fair.
It's a prescription for awesome.
It's what you're on if you think you're getting up here. Sorry, that was a Monster Squad coat.
Yeah.
If you use the code SAVE3, you actually get to save $3 for your first crate. So you should do that. Before we do what we're drinking, apparently I have to open my first present. My second present, technically, I guess. So.
Miss Katie Turbo, it's her birthday tomorrow, and we're throwing a big taco party. And I don't mean like girls playing on girls.
Not a pink taco party.
Can I come?
I mean, you're invited, but
not a scissor party.
We're eating chicken and beef tacos all day and hanging out and drinking beers and having a good time. But I already gave her her first present, which was a long
Keep that in the bedroom,
forgotten video game that she used to play on the NES called Hudson's Adventure Island. Is that?
I thought you were going to say Hudson Hawk.
I found a copy of it and tracked it down and got her a copy on NES, the original cartridge that we've played since then.
Good man.
This is the big present.
Is it going to make me cry? Because I don't want to open it if it's going to make me cry.
It's possible.
Just open
but
it.
Then I don't want to open it.
No, you should open it. Look, it's already happening.
He said no.
It's already.
I see red and black, and that's already going to make me cry.
Yeah,
Open
get in
it.
there. Get in there.
Open
Get in
it.
there.
Open it. All right, guys, I'm gonna describe the sweatshirt to you, so there's no awkward silence here. It is a Harley Quinn inspired hoodie that is predominantly red with a black sleeve and a half black hood.
You should put up the hood.
Yeah, put up the hood, Katie Turbo.
And you totally need a baseball bat right now.
Very cute.
Look
It
at
has
that.
got. Oh my god. Oh, it's so cute.
It's a Halloween costume
my
in
God.
itself.
I've already been
So
Harley
cute.
Quinn.
Doesn't matter.
You can be
the
Harley
real
Quinn
Harley
every
Quinn.
day now.
Every day.
No, that's awesome.
For
That's
the woman
pretty
that
badass.
has everything, Harley Quinn, I actually had to go on Etsy and
Yes.
big
Is it
shout out
custom made?
to Geeky You that
yeah.
custom makes per order the hoodies.
Well, fucking job.
I had to order well ahead of time in
Yeah, I
order to
love
get this
it.
hoodie made. It's a Harley Quinn hoodie that like the embroidery and stitching is super solid on this.
Yeah.
It's a super well done hoodie with giant like fucking
Yes.
what is that? The jester
The jester.
things on the hood as well. That is your big and,
And who
trust
made
that?
that?
took a number of conversations to make
Hobbit.
happen.
Who was that? Who made that? One more time.
Geeky You is
Geeky You on Etsy.
Geeky and then the letter U.
You. All right.
Made that hoodie for Katie and it's phenomenal.
I love it.
Does it fit good?
Yes.
Yes.
It's perfect.
Yes, good. So
it
you
looks
love it?
awesome.
Yes, I love it.
Good.
Thank
good,
you.
good,
Smiling
good.
really big.
I like the thick white stitching around where the hood is.
And the
I don't know.
pockets, too.
Yeah, the
The
pockets are
pockets.
really
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
done.
I'm gonna
Maybe the
need
thick
a
white
Little
stitching.
Mermaid inspired hoodie. Lowdown.
I'm gonna do a Superman one.
I checked the reviews and also very
like it.
militantly looked at all the stitching before I
Gifted.
before I put it in a fucking box and didn't wrap it and then gave it to her on a podcast. But I made sure that it was actually good quality, so I didn't have to send it back. And
Yeah, it's awesome.
Geeky, you did
And I
a
love
fantastic job.
Yeah.
Great
Wow.
job.
Oh, look at
I
the
love the
sleeves.
sleeves.
Yeah, that's totally cool.
The little
Yeah.
details are really cute.
Yeah. It's awesome. Thank you.
Yay!
You're welcome. I love you too.
You're gonna have a few more customers, Geeky You.
Yeah, no shit.
Go ahead, Geeky you.
So what's next?
What we're drinking.
What we're drinking. That requires theme music. We're just going with the same theme music from last week. Here we go.
Okay, it's safe. Hey, we're fucking drinking. We're getting drunk. You wanna know? Well, here you. Hey, we're fucking drinking. We're getting drunk. You wanna know? Well, here you go. Hey.
What are you drinking, Katie?
All right.
Okay.
Well, what I brought for my share was related to one of my top 3 favorite sports movies, which was A League of Their Own. There were a couple that I was choosing from when I went to Once Upon a Vine, where we have talked about going a number of times. It's a local beer and wine shop that we absolutely love. There's one here near where we do the podcast. There's one on the south side of Richmond. And I chose the peach triple
It's
because
delicious.
I love the Rockford peaches from League of Their Own. And
And-
triple, clearly a triple.
Because like
Because baseball.
hitting a triple.
Because baseball.
Yeah.
a
So
sports
that is
thing.
what I chose. So that's what we have in our solo cups right now.
Delicious.
That was really good. I drank it all.
I love that you definitely
Couldn't
get the
wait.
peach notes,
couldn't.
but it's
Have
not
some more.
so overplayed that it's a fruity beer. It's
Mhm.
it's a
Is there
beer
more?
with fruity notes, which is
I brought this on there before, right?
I think so.
And I think I brought the Cuvée Gold, which is the
I know,
Cuvée,
I know
wine
that
barrel.
I know that somebody brought the apple pie kind
Yeah,
of
Dan
one.
brought the peach cobbler one. Yes,
Which we actually found a bottle, and
the
that's
Mama's something or other.
It's Mama
Mamau. Mamau.
No,
Mayo?
Meemaw.
Meemaw. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Mama's
Yeah.
Mama's
I never
family.
had a meemaw.
I was like Mamau.
And I know I brought the Cuvée peach triple, which was the white,
Yeah.
the white wine barrel.
Whoa, we're
aged.
getting really fancy up in here.
Hey, I'm
Yeah.
saying I'm sorry.
Cuvée?
Sorry, you're a low rent bitch.
We bring the fancy when we bring the sports.
He ain't no basic bruh.
Basic, bro.
Leave the hood alone, okay?
So
Leave it
basically,
alone.
Hardywood, with all their peach beers in general, it's not overplayed peach. It's
No.
it's got
It's good.
back notes to it, but you still know it's beer.
It has an APB of 8.2.
So it's not quite kicking the dick. It's grazing the dick.
Yeah.
It's a ball grazer.
It's a ball grazer.
It's
So
a light
It's a ball tickler.
it's a light wind across your nutsack.
Yeah.
That sounds comfortable.
25 IBU.
It tickles.
But it's very good. And Hardywood has a bunch of different types of peach beers right now that are amazing. The Meemaw one that we're talking about it's like a peach cobbler one, and it is delicious.
It's got peach and cinnamon, and it
It's seriously,
tastes-
you can
it-
taste the crust.
yeah,
Amen.
it tastes like you're drinking.
It's like a
peach
fucking
cobbler.
Willy Wonka candy.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Do you get a
serious.
third? Do you get a third?
Their peach cobbler
You get a third.
is
You get
Yeah.
a third meal.
Third meal with that?
is ridiculous.
Get dessert.
If you
You
have a
get the
chance to
entree.
find it, it's a super limited release, so it's up and it's possible you'll find it, but it's not for sure.
No.
Yeah, don't get your fucking hopes up. Is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
basically, it's like we're cooler than you.
Yeah, we'll show you how good
yeah.
it is.
Delicious.
only because the studio is a mile from Hardywood, and we can get there really easy.
Shh, they'll figure where you live.
All of our friends in fucking like California and fucking India that listen to us, they can't get this shit. I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
But we appreciate you listening.
Yeah, no, we do.
And we love you very much for listening.
There's actually some sort of trading or selling website that people from California can get it from, because people will trade and or buy bottles.
We need to look into that only
Yeah.
because we have a
could get some
number of
good ones.
listeners, especially in California, but also all over the fucking world that if we want to do a tradesies, I'd be cool with doing like a under the table kind of thing.
As long as you can get it through customs, we're good.
With some of our listeners. So I'm not going to say that I endorse illegally transferring booze across state lines or countries, but it's illegal a little bit, depending on state laws. So I will not say that we approve of that, but email me. And
we absolutely do not approve of that, but we're willing to talk to you about it.
And we'll figure out
the
legal ones, and the other ones we totally won't do. Wink, wink.
Yeah, we will figure out every legal.
We will figure out
legal, not illegal.
Yeah. Anyway,
the other share we have tonight is from Mike the Hobbit Bickett.
Yep.
What you got?
I was looking for thematic beers, and then I found this one that spoke to me in so many ways. This is AleSmith San Diego Pale Ale 394, which was, I think, the highest batting average that Tony Gwynn has ever had. And there's actually a little logo of Tony Gwynn on it, which is my favorite baseball player of all time. I'm a Padres fan.
Wait, who are they? Oh, it's baseball. That's right.
Baseballs. It's the baseballs.
It's baseballs.
It's the baseballs.
It's the baseballs.
This is a beer that has a Tony Gwynn signature on it, so you're goddamn fucking right. I'm buying this for a sports movies episode.
So you're rocking a semi right now.
I have a Tony Gwynn jersey. I'm a diehard Padres fan, as fucking terrible as they have been and have always been, except for like 1984 when they went to the series. I've been a fan my entire life, and I will always be a fan of the Padres, even when they suck, which is always.
So that's a yes to everybody that's listening.
I was really excited to see a beer that had Tony Gwynn's numbers on it.
Me too.
And unfortunately, it's a pale ale, which is not my normal go-to, but it's not super overplayed. As far as a pale ale goes, it's very drinkable.
Actually, I like it.
It's all right.
decent.
I do like it. It's not.
It is decent.
It's a little hoppy for me, but it's not that bad.
I'm just waiting for Hobbit to pass the six-pack around so we can get a beer.
No, he...
It's a share.
Yeah,
it's a share.
I sent a
that
beer.
costs the same as the bottle, so therefore we should each get one of those, since that's how shares work.
You can go fuck yourself.
That logic is fucking
that logic
sound,
that was
dude.
$10. That was $10.
Well,
sorry you didn't get a fucking bottle, but we each get one of those.
Now that Kyle has
saying.
drank most of that one,
Just
I
saying.
think
That's how that works.
Steven actually needs to. That one.
Just saying.
I gave Rach here.
Just
half.
saying.
You gotta meet me halfway.
That's right, bro. You did.
You don't see the logic in that? We buy a bottle, the whole. I don't take some of my bottle home, so that doesn't work that way, Hobbit.
That just sounds like you're being a selfish bitch.
Not really. You're a selfish bitch for arguing the fact.
How many times have you brought a bottle and you poured some for everybody else and you got the most of it?
I pour it pretty fair.
You know what? God damn it.
Actually, you do.
There is
Yeah.
no crying in baseball.
There you go. There is no crying on baseball. And I pour very fair. I actually pour heavy for everyone else, and I get what's left.
I would love to just have Tom Hanks in an interview one day. He could say a million different things, but that was actually one of his best delivered lines. I know Forrest Gump is an amazing movie, but in League of Their Own, he actually delivers like, there's no crying in baseball, like the way he says it.
Well, you know he was in Richmond for a while. Like they have pictures of him at Mama Zoo's in Oregon Hill.
Of course he was.
With him and Meg Ryan eating
All right.
dinner.
Is there
What,
any other
during,
beers that people
like
are drinking?
3 years ago.
or
You've got mail?
booze that people are drinking that they want to talk about a little bit?
I got Yingling.
No.
Then fuck your Yingling.
East
are you
Coast
drinking?
local, it's OG.
I'm
Whatever.
drinking Warsteiner. It's a German Oktoberfest. It's I was expecting a little more from it because other German Munich style Oktoberfests have been really good. This one's kind of
Is it a Marzen though?
It doesn't state if it's a Marzen. It
Yeah.
says Das Einzig War. I don't know what that means.
Can we text
We need
Groots?
to Google.
Yeah, we need to text groups.
Can I
I don't.
taste that?
It doesn't have a Marzen backbone to it though. It's
Or
not roast. It's not malty or anything. It's not a Marzen. That's camping.
I'll talk about mine. I'm a little embarrassed, but I'll talk about mine.
Don't be embarrassed.
So, I'm drinking Truly, which is spiked and sparkling. If you guys ever drink sparkling water or flavored water, it is the alcoholic version of that. So it's 5% alcohol. I'm drinking the Sicilian Blood Orange. It's pretty darn good. If you are an athlete and you play a sport like CrossFit, you can
CrossFit is not a sport. It's actually
Have
super.
you watched the CrossFit Games? We'll have that conversation.
Okay.
Have you done the
all right.
CrossFit Games?
Okay.
If you work out
You would
really
die in
hard
first
and do
exercise.
the
CrossFit,
CrossFit Games is actually a thing, and it's actually.
I'm not saying it's not hard.
And there's
It's
a world-
probably super
there's
hard.
a
what the
world
fuck kind of rules do you
championship.
have in a CrossFit workout?
This is
a lot of. There's actually a lot. Like if you don't complete the lift, you don't get the point.
I'm saying it's probably tougher than baseball because baseball is pastoral.
It is
like,
tougher than
but-
baseball. You can't stay in the outfield and sit around and wait. You're like,
That's
let me
true.
run 10 miles with this fucking rucksack and then
Look,
come back and
Cecil
do like 100
Fielder
push-ups.
was a fucking legendary baseball player, and he was fat as fuck. I'm saying it doesn't matter whether or not it's tough or not. CrossFit is not a sport.
It is a sport though.
It's
But
a
that's
workout
a whole
routine.
It's not though. It is known for as a workout routine, but it's also like the CrossFit Games is like okay, we're getting off topic. We're not gonna get into that. Anyway, if you're watching your carbs and you're trying to get swole, you should drink this because it's less than 2 carbs per bottle.
That's
It's
actually
5%.
I've never heard of a alcoholic sparkling.
Yeah, it's a newer
drink
trend
before.
that's out. Truly,
That's actually really
pretty
cool.
good.
I'd be afraid
So
to tell
if you
my
really
wife.
are like, I know not to be like too into Swolemaid stuff, but if you're watching your macros, like you should definitely drink this because you can drink a whole six pack and it's 12 carbs, and yeah, it's awesome. So something to think about if you want to lay off the beer.
It's also 5% alcohol.
Yeah,
It just looks like
Something.
it looks like Smirnoff in a different label.
No, that's like above standard.
yeah. I mean, 5% less than 2 carbs.
Yeah, 4.5 is the standard, right?
If you're
4.5 is
interested
yeah.
in calories, which if you're counting your macros or not, it's only 100 calories per bottle. So not
Okay.
bad at all.
So that's about all we're drinking, right?
That's what
Yeah.
we're drinking. Yeah.
We're fucking done with drinking.
So, baby, what's next?
What's next is making a drunken scene.
Cue the music.
Making a drunken scene.
So fancy.
I got Sanka.
Sanka.
I got Jimmy Dugan.
Who do I want, guys?
Damn it, that's what I wanted.
All right, so normally
Fight for it.
we suss out the characters before we do making a drunken scene, but we drank too much and just didn't. So,
We just fucking forgot.
darling, what's the first scene that we're doing?
So the first drunken scene we're doing is from Goon, which is, like we mentioned before, one of the major hockey movies.
By the way, available on Netflix currently. So if you have not seen it, trust me, if you love sports movies, it is fucking phenomenal.
It's on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
Whoa.
It's
Yeah.
Sean William Scott.
Sean William Scott.
And there you go. Just
Who's not
introduce
the
him.
Stifler?
Yeah.
And guess who co-wrote Goon?
Oh, shut the fuck up, man. We already went over this earlier.
My
Who-
betrothed.
know
Who
what
do
I
you
watched the
think
other
he
night?
wants to be?
No shit.
Life goals.
Like, I swear to God, if you could live the rest of your life up his ass, you would.
Do you know what I watched the other night? The
dark
Sorcerer's
up there.
Stone.
I just want to
I
lick
really
his,
like that movie.
I just want to lick his Canadian flag tattoo. That's all I want to
I thought
do.
you said this Canadian taint.
I was gonna say the same thing. You want to get the?
Either way.
He's like,
either
I will lick the
way.
dingleberries out of your ass, Barishaw.
All right, so for
cool,
for
it's
Goon,
salty.
I'm calling full fucking claim that I'm playing Ryan, who has one line. That is Jay Baruchel's character.
I'm Raleigh.
You're Raleigh. So
That's not a girl, is it? I haven't watched the
Why
movie
does it matter?
You know, why does it matter?
because I just want to know what voice to do.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't fucking matter.
Details always matter.
Not with
actually,
this, it does.
nobody
Stop
tell
trying to
him whether
gender
it's a
everything.
boy or a
the
girl now.
Details don't matter with drunken scene, bro. Where have you been?
Fine, you're right.
Fucking
Fine,
yeah.
fuck
Okay,
you
who
all
wants to be
and your
Doug?
logic.
Wants to be Doug?
I can do Doug too if nobody
no,
wants
I'll
to.
do it.
You
I
look
haven't
like-
picked anything.
I was gonna
Okay.
say,
Okay.
Steven looks like a Doug.
All right,
Well,
so
then I will go.
I'm just messing
Lowdown
around.
can have it.
so just
Patty's
check.
so cute.
Raleigh is Smash?
Raleigh is Kyle.
Kyle Smash.
Yep. And Doug Glatt is
Swolemaid.
Swolemaid.
What's up?
And
Ryan.
Ryan is
69
fucking Hobbit.
motherfuckers. Talking about Jay Baruchel up in this piece, a little Canadian flag on the chest.
Okay,
My
we're just gonna start this.
my
'cause I
soulmate.
can't, I
Let's do
can't
it.
deal
my
with this.
soulmate.
Go ahead,
You
Katie.
are
I-
sad,
Okay.
sad little man.
Goon,
It's the
smash,
it's the
start
first
it.
time that I got
Start
to,
it, please.
Smash.
God, you would swallow his load for free, wouldn't you?
Yes.
It's just too bad those are your teammates that you fucked up out there.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Of course, on the bright side, those are your teammates that you fucked up out there. What do you say, son? You want to be an assassin?
Yes.
What number you want to wear?
69! Take the number 69. It's hilarious.
Is that number taken?
Yay. I got to do lines from Jay Baruchel, and I'm so happy right
Oh
now.
my God. Yes,
You like that guy? You like that guy, right?
Just a little
Just
bit.
a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Just 'cause
Shit happens.
You just want to be entertained with
My
him.
man crush. My man crush.
Totally.
Is Jay
That's okay.
Baruchel.
Lowdown's is The Rock, if anyone ever wants to know.
Oh yeah, I'm very open with that.
He would leave me in a heartbeat, dude.
Same.
Dude,
Jay
I might
Baruchel.
actually do the same thing if he didn't.
But
have-
The Rock is a lot more respectable than Jay Baruchel. Okay, I'm just fucking saying.
totally.
He's fucking sexy. That's what
I
he
haven't
is.
even watched the
That's
movie.
Jay
a
but-
Baruchel's a fucking beanpole who has like zero muscle
like,
mass. He's a
The Rock is
fucking
really
wanker.
built.
That's another podcast in itself. We're not
Lowdown.
doing that right
Do
now.
you
Yes.
want to be a bottom? Because if you're with The Rock, you're going to be the bottom.
I don't know about that.
With
The
Jay
Rock's kind
Baruchel,
of cute. I
there's
think
a
Lowdown
chance
would
The Rock
be
might be a
cool.
little cutie in bed. You never know. He might be a little passive.
I was going to
You know
choose
what I'm saying?
Matt Damon because I think he's a give it.
Exactly.
There's a give and take there.
Damon.
Matt Damon.
It is a whole other
Matt
podcast.
Damon.
Famous people you get a pass for.
He's gonna
Katie, you and me.
The thing I like to do is
Right here.
with
Right
Philly
now.
fans is feed them shit and keep them in the dark like mushrooms.
I like
All
it.
right.
You teamless motherfucker.
Second drunken scene is from A League of Their Own, and I am claiming Jimmy Dugan.
Go ahead, girl.
So we need
Do
to,
Evelyn.
Can I be? I was going to say, can I be Evelyn?
Be Doris. You should be Doris.
You look at Doris.
You look like a Doris.
You look
yeah.
like your face looks like a Doris.
Oh.
Wait, oh, damn
Except
it.
I think Doris is a delightful
That's my
name, so that's
grandma's
actually a compliment.
name.
Thank you, sir.
So rough in here
You know
tonight.
what? Yeah, it is rough.
All right, is that everybody?
Yeah,
I'll tell you
so-
what, I will do.
I like it.
I will do narration
Oh,
on
thank
this.
you. Thank you.
So I will do narration.
All right. So
All right.
for A League of Their Own, Katie Sherbo is Jimmy Dugan. Lowdown Brown is Evelyn Gardner. Kyle Smash is Doris Murphy. And the wonderful Mike the Hobbit Bickett is the narrator.
I like you got to give me like a fucking prequel title of
I'm
like
trying.
wonderful.
I'm trying to be nice to you.
Yeah.
I
You got
get
it,
it.
girl.
I know.
Okay.
I know it's tough when I do podcasts.
One
It's
more
fine.
beer. It's okay.
Or breathe.
Yeah. All right. Whenever you guys are ready.
Yeah, I'm fucking ready.
And
I was ready 2 seconds ago.
I believe in you.
Scene.
Stop touching me.
Sounds like every.
She got her fucking. She got her Harley Quinn hoodie, and
like,
now
"Fuck
she
you, bro, I got
doesn't
my
have
hoodie
to
on."
fucking
I thought you were gonna
lights
say she got a
anymore.
fucking shine box.
She's like, this is better than a ring, bruh.
Thank you. I don't need your dick. I have a hoodie.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Amen to that.
Evelyn, could you come here? You got a second? Which team do you play for?
Well, I'm a peach.
Well, I was just wondering why you would throw home when you got a 2-run lead. You let the tying run get on second base and we lost the lead because of you. Start using your head. That's the lump that's 3 feet above your ass.
Evelyn starts to cry.
Are you crying? Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
Why don't you give her a break, Jimmy?
Oh, you zip it, Doris. Roger Hornsby was my manager, and he called me a talking pile of pig shit. And that was when my parents drove all the way down from Michigan to see me play the game. And did I cry?
No.
Yeah! No! And do you know why?
No.
Because there's no crying in baseball! There's no crying in baseball! No crying!
Have you ever? Has anyone here ever seen 8 Crazy Nights with Adam Sandler?
Yes.
You sound
You sound
like the old man.
Oh, what's his fucking name?
Oh God!
He gets frozen in the fucking porta potty.
I know. It's like, let me go talk to my sister.
You sound like a Jewish old man.
Okay, so baby, I know that you were trying to go
So good. So
Simpsons on that, and
I
then
did, and then
it
I
just
turned
went.
It was so good, though. It was so
That was
good.
great, Katie.
You almost had a smells like burning part going on there, but
Smells like burning.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner right here.
choose you. This is when we all been drinking a lot.
Yeah, this is truth to point that second half is off the rails.
Off the rails.
All right, so
So-
that was, we've done Goon, we've done A League of Their Own, and now...
Running spun.
One for the money.
Two for the
Show.
Now,
3 to
there's
get
actually-
ready, and here you go.
There's not only lines for every one of us on this, but I think one or two of us are going to have to double up on this.
Yeah.
I got Sanka.
All of us are going to have to be the rest of team.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lowdown has Sankta.
I want Junior.
Okay.
I'm going to be Yul Brenner. Yul Brenner.
Okay.
I'm gonna be
Yul Brenner.
Daddy's-
That's so good. His fucking
Who
character.
are you gonna be?
I guess
so good.
Daddy's.
He's fucking...
Daddy's.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're doing cool run-ins.
Take your name.
Man.
I said we called it cool runnings.
By the way, everyone besides Lowdown is going to sound racist as fuck.
Oh, shit. I don't know. I might sound pretty racist.
He might actually sound racist to people from that part of the world.
But you've got at least 50% of you that makes it
I
passable
don't
for
know.
you to do these accents.
I'm not fucking Jamaican, dude.
I know African American and Jamaican are not the
Africa,
same
Jamaica, not the same thing.
They from the islands, bruh.
No, I understand, but what I'm saying is that a black man is going to get less shit for doing a Jamaican accent than a fucking Swedish
I
dude.
feel like
That's
that's
true.
not
saying.
true.
That's very. I mean, that he is Swedish. He's uber white. He's
really
uber
white. Like, I'm really
How
white.
white are you though?
I'm so white that I don't have anything besides mayonnaise in my fridge.
And mustard, bro.
Who also wants to be Coach Irv?
Who's gonna be John Candy?
Oh.
Because I was going to be Doris.
Well, I'm the fattest.
Well, I'll be John
So-
Candy because
Are
I
you
was.
the fattest?
I'll be John Candy.
Okay.
Okay. All
I'll be
right.
John Candy.
Cool.
Okay.
I had Doris, but she wants to do it, and it's her
Okay.
birthday, so.
All
It's
right.
your
Wait,
birthday.
hold on. What?
Go
We
Shorty.
need a messenger as well.
And we need a narrator for this. Fuck.
I'll do messenger. Who wants to narrator?
I'll be narrator.
Okay. Who else are you?
I was going to be Doris. Okay, so Lowdown is Sanka.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel is Junior.
What's up?
And Kyle is Sanka.
I can be Yule.
No, that's
No,
Lowdown.
I'm Coach Irv.
Oh, you are Coach Irv. Okay.
Darice. Who's Darice?
That-
I was
Doris.
going to be Doris.
You be
Okay.
I got Yule.
Okay.
No, I got Yule.
Oh, you got Yule?
I got
Yeah,
Yule.
how-
I was just saying if we need double up. So
Okay.
Who's
No,
Junior?
Me.
yeah,
Okay.
Let's do it.
who's the messenger?
me.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So
Coach
we're good.
Irv. Do we got
Kyle.
a Coach Irv?
Kyle.
Yeah.
We're good.
Okay.
I think
We're good.
Let's
We're good.
go.
All right, here we go. Cool runnings. Cool runnings.
Cool runnings, man.
So what are we going to name the sled? Yeah.
How about the Lula?
Tallulah.
Sounds like a $2 hooker. How'd you come up with that?
That's my mother's name.
Embarrassed silence. Then team converses in agreement that Tallulah is a good name.
Oh, it's a good name. It's a good name.
What's it gonna be, Star? What are the people gonna be screaming when Jamaica takes the hill?
I say we call it Cool Runnings.
Beautiful. I like it.
Very strong.
Nice, very nice. But what exactly does that mean?
Cool Runnings means peace be the journey. Cool Runnings.
Cool runnings.
Cool runnings.
Wait, there's one more.
Okay, we get it.
That's
You're
you.
gonna be the messenger.
Excuse
Oh,
me.
wait, I'm saying. Excuse me.
Gives Coach Irv a letter and leaves.
To the man in the orange suit.
Toasting after man leaves.
To the messenger.
Aye. Coach Irv.
Well, ashen-faced after reading the letter,
Sorry.
Fucking narrator.
we are officially disqualified.
Yay, we made it through
Yay,
another
cool
drinking
runnings.
scene.
The best one was League of Their Own, though.
Yeah,
That
no,
was,
League of Their Own
that was fucking
good.
beautiful. So good. So good.
Jamaican
It was
mafia
8 crazy nights.
All right, now on to. All right, darling,
right.
what are we hitting?
Done.
All right. Well, we kind of left the topics of classics, kids' sports movies, but we also kind of started to hint on sports movies based on real life. Like, a couple of my favorites were 42, which I recently watched, and that was a hard contender for me with the 3 favorite sports movies. Like, I actually owned that movie but hadn't watched it yet, and I was like, holy fucking shit, this is one of the ultimate movies that I absolutely love.
And that, you know what? That movie is still fucking relevant because the shit that just happened
No
like
shit.
2 fucking weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Like, yeah, that it's sad, but like you watch the movie and you're like, wow, this is still going on. Holy fuck, we're a bunch of dumbasses.
And that's what I talked about with Hobbit is like, it's fucking ridiculous that we're watching this movie and this is going on during that time, and I am comparing it to what is fucking happening today, and it's different, but it's still fucking the same thing, like where you're having those prejudices and those arguments with stupid fucking shit that shouldn't even be here now, and that is what we actually talked about while we were watching it.
I saw the movie when it first came out, and I thought it was a decent movie, but the problem that I had with it is it was so fucking ham-handed. The difference that I saw when I saw it with her is that when I saw it and it was ham-handed, Obama was president. So it was a different viewpoint than when I saw it with Katie, where I was watching when there was a black president. And seeing it with Katie, where it's around the time that there are Nazis marching in fucking Charlottesville, that I see it with Katie, it took on a totally different approach. That ham-handedness was actually appropriate, where it super accentuated how important it was that a black man played baseball at the time that he did, and that there were white men that were willing to stand up, and also white men that understood by him playing baseball how ridiculous it was that black men weren't allowed to play baseball before that. I gotta say, I had a new understanding of 42 seeing it the second time than I did the first time, and unfortunately it was because of where we stand in our country at this point. I think they did a solid job, and I think it's more important now than it was when it first came out.
Well, there's something to be said. Even in that time frame, everything like that was heavy-handed because it was commonplace. You know, every bad word that could come out came out so easily, like you were just breathing air, because it was commonplace.
Watching Wash from fucking Firefly yell out the N-word was a really painful experience for me.
I bet you filming it, they probably felt the same thing. You know, and then you had a few people like Harrison Ford's character, the coach in that, who brought him in. Yeah, you know, the main, like the coach under him who was yelling at him and saying these slurs, oh, he's just this, he's just that. He's like, you use that again, you're fired. Like, it's all heavy-handed because of the subject matter. But what was great about it was, of course, if you want to talk about underdog, was the ability for a man to go from in that position at that time just for sheer talent and determination. Was like, you know, you could think what you want, but you're going to look up to me one way or another, and people did.
Well, and that was the thing, is like looking at Wash from Firefly.
Alan Tudyk.
Oh my gosh, like that was like seeing David Tennant and Jessica Jones for me. I was like, no, I don't understand why this is happening.
Why is he evil and not
yeah,
an
why
actor?
is he evil? Why
He's
is he
such
saying
a
awful
nice
things?
man.
Yeah. But it also reminded me of like look at times today where what he was saying is like what they considered like the hey bada 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 bada, like that was what it was, but it was okay for them to do those types of things, and it was just a regular thing for them to be able to say. And then also like the prejudices of, you know, people coming in and calling bad calls, and this has happened in a bunch of sports movies and a bunch of underdog sports movies.
Shit, it happens in sports now.
Where they call shitty calls because they have prejudices against other players. And so it wraps it up into a whole, like, what's sad about it is, like, I was watching it now, and like Hobbit said, I was watching it, and this is 2017, and it just related to me of what's happening now. And one of my favorite sports movies is Remember the Titans, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it and I'm like, why is this different? Like, why is this happening? And everything going on in Charlottesville and everything that's supposedly happening
It
next
means
week,
more now.
weekend, like, it's just not the same.
Well, I look back to one of your favorite movies, and one of my favorite movies. If there was a top 5, it would be on my top 5. But League of Their Own, there's a scene where the ball rolls away and a black woman picks it up and throws it past the catcher back to the pitcher, and they shake their hand like fuck. And that was supposed to be an homage to a black female baseball player that tried to get in to the Women in Baseball League at that time, that wasn't able to, because even at that time when they were allowing women into baseball, they weren't allowing black women into baseball. So it was an homage to that, I mean, this has been a long struggle for anybody, and I'm saying this as a super white dude, anybody not white dude, that anybody non-white dude, it's been way harder for any of you besides me. Like, it's
I know, boy, you're damn near clear.
Fuck you. You're also super near clear white dude as well. So
You're a motherfucking Casper.
actually, you and I are the only two super, like, almost clear white dudes in this room right now.
True.
You're red.
But I've got swagger. I don't know about you.
That was worse than my bro.
Oh. But no, seriously though, like,
I was gonna catch shit
Hobbit's
for that.
right. Like, literally, like, not only was there a gender issue, you know, there was also, you had to overcome a racial gender issue. It's really? Like, so yes, League of Their Own. Like, yeah, women can play baseball. Fuck yeah, because there are really athletic women. They're fucking good at it.
And then
now
the
it's, oh wait, we're
Williams
black.
sisters-
Fuck, shit, they can't play.
Then the Williams sisters are like, you can go fuck yourself and take over the whitest sport that's ever existed,
Right?
on the face
Literally,
of the
the
earth.
whitest sport.
The whitest sport
Besides
ever.
from polo. That's literally the whitest sport.
That's like not really. A
Yeah,
sport.
no, that's what when they retire from fucking tennis,
They're
they're
gonna
gonna
play polo.
pick up fucking polo.
I think
Like
that's the
water
thing, though,
polo?
is, like, that's the thing, is like, not only like Hobbit hit it on the head. It's like, unless you're a white male, like, you're fucked. Like, sorry, like, oh, you're good at sports? Well, sorry, you have a vagina. Or sorry, you're black and you have a vagina. And like, that's the problem. Is like, if you're good at something, you're good at it no matter what gender.
Black vaginas
or
are
age,
the worst.
What age or gender you are, is like, if you're good at something, like, you're good at it, and that's what should really be
Jesus
looked at. And
Christ.
that's what's it's rough, man. It's rough.
Well, and that was the thing with A League of Their Own, is even in the movie, they recognize, like, the person that led them doing this ballpark, like this, league, says once the men come back, there's
Yeah, you're
no
done.
need for this.
Right.
But they're recognizing that this is such a strong female sport and it's succeeding. But he also doesn't understand that this also could succeed once other men come back into the field of it.
Well, right, and in this country, as we know, like World War II taught a lot to a lot of people. One being that how capable women are of doing male jobs. You know, they were taking care of the factories, building the bullets, building the, whatever the case is, sending over the baseball
And kids.
and kids,
World War II,
and while
women
having
can't
kids.
do nothing. Men leave. Women can do all the
Right.
men's jobs.
Women are running the fucking country.
War
But only
ends-
until after the men come back.
War ends, men come back. Women can't do nothing. They did the same shit you were doing until you
Got
came
paid
out.
less.
Plus had a child go through their vagina.
I totally know what you mean. They had a big burger last. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's totally a different feeling. But
No. I did have a point with that.
You sure?
I think so. Okay. Was that, regardless of whether it's men going off to war, women have to take over, or black soldiers having to fight in the Civil War, or whatever the case might be, there's, when it comes to sports, they always break it down very similar. Like, you are a human, you're a person, you can do it if you try, if you're part of a team, and that's what it all boils down to. You could preach race or sexual discrimination all you want, but at the end of the day, if you're in a team unit, it takes an entire team to win, regardless.
So, all right, we've talked on gender, we went into race. Let's take it a little bit further. Let's talk about some radio.
Yeah.
Mentally handicapped playing in sports.
No.
Boom.
Okay.
There you
All
go.
right.
We're going to
All
go that route. That was a fucking good movie. Cuba Gooding Jr. That was Ed Harris.
He did
That was-
amazing with that role.
Right? That was a good movie. I'm just saying, that's another thing, too. Like, they have the right... I mean, they can handle playing sports, and he
What
had
did
to,
they say? Tropical Thunder? He went full retard though, didn't he?
No.
Or he went half?
Don't say that word.
He went half.
No. I'm only quoting
He's
from the movie. I'm
referencing the
not.
movie.
These are not my
Okay.
words. I'm quoting
Yeah.
from the movie Tropical Thunder. That's what
That's what he said.
Because they
Yeah.
basically
know.
bring that up in the movie. So apologies to anybody. That's not a word that I use
No, but
personally.
that was a good... I mean, that movie pulled at my heartstrings.
Right.
I enjoyed that movie.
That movie is amazing.
Right? Thank you. It's a very good movie.
Yeah, back when Cuba Gooding Jr. was relevant.
Who was that?
So just because he's not relevant now doesn't
Who
mean the
else
movie's
was
not
in that
good.
movie?
No,
Ed Harris.
Ed Harris.
Ed Harris.
Harris.
It
Yeah.
actually upsets me that he's not relevant anymore because he's a solid actor.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, he was in
why.
last season American Horror Story.
And he was in the
I remember
O.J.
that.
Simpson story.
He was OJ. Yeah. The biggest character in the whole series.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna bring it back. No offense to radio, but I want to go back to the point where we were talking about sports and women and saying that like women are only relevant if men aren't around. So for those who have known me, know that I play roller derby, and I haven't talked about it yet on the podcast, so I feel like now is the time. And roller derby, if you know anything about the sport, is predominantly women based. Shout out to WFTA, which is Women's Flat Track Roller Derby Association, and they're basically, if you know anything about the sport, they're kind of like the NFL of roller derby. So they are the guiding light in our sport. If your team is, they have to work towards being WFTA certified, and then from there, you move up in the rankings. So when it comes to sports, I want to just say that what I love about roller derby is predominantly women. There is male roller derby and all male roller derby, and there is co-ed roller derby. But if you follow the sport, it is predominantly women, and all of roller derby that has been on ESPN 2 or 3 has been women's roller derby. So when it comes to talking about League of Their Own and a sport that's predominantly male, women have taken over in that time only because the men were away. What I love about our sport is it's predominantly women.
It started with.
Women.
Yeah.
It's predominantly women. But not to knock men's roller derby. It's a different game. It's utterly violent if you ever watch men's roller derby.
Well, I guess that's just women being more available to allow men to be involved in their sport than men are allowing women to be involved in their
sport. It's kind of the opposite
sport.
shift of most sports, and I think that's what I appreciate about WFTA and about roller derby in general is most leagues are, especially here in Richmond, like there's from what I know right now, there's no co-ed leagues, there's no male roller derby in Richmond at all. So it's just really awesome that sport in general has been predominantly women. And if we're talking about movies, like not to knock Whip It, because I do love the movie, but it's definitely a different ball game, and it's kind of an underdog story in its own, in its personal light. She saw it, wanted to do it, tried it, and got good at it, and really figured herself out.
I feel like that's a good segue where we can kind of talk about a few things at once. A couple things is sports movies based on real life, and also that underdog story, because I feel like a lot of those underdog stories are based on real life. I mentioned kind of Remember the Titans as one, and
Oh no,
for it.
you have anything more to say about that? I'm
No, go
all
for
ears
it.
for Remember the Titans. That movie's fucking amazing.
No shit.
But I got one that covers both grounds, and I love it. Invincible. You've got
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg.
That's right,
a
baby.
local from fucking Philly.
I
who
did-
gets on.
I
the
did not
fuck
wanna
you
say
and not
it.
your fucking Eagles.
You shut your
fuck
fucking
you.
Eagles,
Fuck you,
You know,
Kyle.
fuck
you, Kyle.
I'm sorry. What's
Hold
the
up.
movie about?
I hated to love that movie.
It's not the point. The point is like some local
it is the
made the
point.
fucking team and then carried the team.
Yes.
So it was this awesome real life
Vince
underdog
Papale.
story.
Yes.
Vince Papale.
Yeah, he created. He carried it for a little while too.
Yeah, exactly,
Couple
he
years.
did.
By the way,
Yes.
you're not allowed to comment on this, Kyle.
Going back to,
Rachel is next.
Underdog movies. If we're gonna like pull up the funny fucking dodgeball,
Yeah,
like,
a true
like,
underdog
true
story.
underdog story.
Yeah.
Yeah. No
Show
shit.
us some underdog story, like, fucking Robo Jim and all. Like, let's go.
And Dodgeball didn't have Michael Vick, right? I'm just wondering.
No,
That didn't have
no.
Michael Vick?
I didn't see any dogs
No,
in
that
there.
was
so
Vince
no.
Vaughn.
No dogs were actually harmed in the filming of that movie, so Michael Vick was not in that.
Damn. All right.
Oh, okay.
Just
Just
saying.
wondering.
True underdog story. I've got a beef with one Kyle Smash about this because in a group conversation before we started this, I mentioned that underdog story is basically like orphans in Disney movies, where basically it's a requirement before you actually have a story. Like you look at Disney movies, everyone's an orphan. You look at sports movies, everyone's a fucking underdog. And I dared anybody to tell me one sports movie that was not an underdog story. And yes, Kyle, what do you have? Because I will shoot it the fuck down. And if you say Moneyball, I will come across this fucking table and
Bring it on.
hug you and tell you you're wrong.
That was a cheerleading movie.
So I came fully prepared for this, and he's
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
be really
sure.
upset. Any given Sunday, bitch.
Any given Sunday.
That is not a fucking underdog story. I don't care what you say. That's about being
It's
rich.
It's not an underdog story. It's about fucking dudes fucking up that are on top.
And then cool camera angles during football scenes.
Yeah, it's not.
That's
It
all
is
it's
not an
about.
underdog story. I gotta back him on
See
that.
this? If you can hear this to everybody listening, that was the mic I just dropped.
Oh damn!
It was actually a pen.
Damn, but seriously, like I love that movie, and it does talk about the older players coming in and trying to give like advice, to like Pacino and to a couple of the players. But all in all, the players are on fucking top. They're not underdogs. They're major league.
Okay,
They're-
so the Wall Street of sports movies.
exactly
The Wolf
That's
of
what-
Wall
no,
Street
no,
of
but
sports
that- no,
movies.
exactly. That's what it was. It was like the Wall Street of fucking sports movies.
Okay.
Rarely do you see a movie where like they start off on the top and end on the top.
It was
like
a music
that.
video with Al Pacino. That's all it was.
Pretty much.
It
Yeah,
was like
pretty much.
That's
Yeah.
all it was.
Okay, so what would you say is the quintessential underdog movie? It's a hard question. That's
Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy's kind of.
Little Giants for me, for sure.
Bad
Come
news
on.
fucking Bears.
Bad News Bears. They're a bunch of. Okay.
I give you bad.
no,
I'll
no,
give you
okay.
Bad News Bears. I'll
I'm not
give that
saying
to you.
I'm
No,
not saying
come on.
favorite movie, but
Okay.
as far as
Ultimate
like
underdog?
the underdog movie,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean that's like
There would be no
the-
Little Giants without fucking Bad News
The
Bears.
name of
They're-
that movie
That's
is
true.
Bad
That-
News Bears.
That's all that movie is.
Yeah.
What happens with Creed or Mighty Ducks?
Creed is a really
or-
good underdog story because he was like an angry little
No,
shit.
it's a great underdog story, but he is still a beast at the beginning of that movie.
I go with Rocky then if you're going to do that. That's
Yeah,
like the ultimate underdog
yeah,
story.
yeah,
We talked about that in
actually,
the first
you know,
half.
I'll-
Rocky. Like
Rocky.
I
yeah.
saw that he was, like you said, he was breaking bones for the fucking mob and doing bullshit amateur fights. By
Replacements?
the end, he was fighting the heavyweight
Full
fucking
runnings.
champion. He was fighting the heavyweight champion at the end of that
Who
movie.
wanted a rematch because he obviously felt that even though the bell and the people told him otherwise, he didn't feel like he won.
He
that
knew he
fight.
lost. He knew he fucking
Knew
lost.
he fucking lost.
Boom.
So, what do you think, Rachel?
Tell us what you think.
Tell me, I would say Cool Runnings is a super underdog movie. Like,
Yeah,
the
that's
best
an
It is.
underdog
underdog
movie.
ever,
Yeah,
because, like,
it
super.
is.
they wanted to do track and they couldn't do track because the mofo tripped them. That's the awful part of the movie.
They got
tripped by the same guy that ended up being on their team. And they like, well, we're going to the Olympics either way, so what are we doing? I guess we'll just try bobsled. Okay.
I will see your Cool Runnings and raise you literally every sports movie that's ever
No,
happened.
not true.
Except for Moneyball,
That-
because
Did
that
he
wasn't
leave
a
us
No,
Right.
dog
any
story.
given Sunday.
No, look, okay, that's the exception proves the rule, but literally every sports movie outside of one or two sports movies
Right.
are
Moneyball.
underdog stories, because ultimately the reason why we love sports movies is that we love to root for the underdog.
Yeah, we like the little guy.
Because
you
How
love the
how
little
is the
guy.
National an underdog story?
Or Field of Dreams.
Field
You
of
already
Dreams.
bet.
No, we're not doing
No,
this argument. We're
we
not
already
doing this
did that
argument.
because everybody
know.
thought he was crazy and he persevered through
Or-
his being crazy.
I know,
was
but
the
he was still
underdog.
crazy.
He got,
Or
that's
A
because he
League of
got
Their
med-
Own.
that's 'cause he got medicated.
He was still crazy, though.
A League of Their Own is not an underdog
Yes,
story.
it is.
Oh yes, it's
Yes,
No,
it is.
It's A League of Their Own is
The
not.
women were the underdog that created the Women's League of Baseball.
Yeah, and they were
But
looking to
there's
they were
no-
looking to cancel the season until they upped their fucking game,
Yeah,
and
they have to wear
they
skirts.
went 3 seasons because
It's
the
all about
women
the money with
upped
them.
their game.
They didn't want to wear skirts. Remember, they were like, "I don't want to wear this shit, but fuck it, I have to if I'm gonna show them I
Literally
can do it."
95%.
Blindside.
The blind side. Oh yeah,
No, that's not. No, the poor black dude. Like,
Yeah, poor
no,
black
that's not,
dude.
not at all an underdog story.
Not at all an
Not
underdog
at all.
story.
He was.
Yeah.
He was like.
We are
washing his
Marshall. I'm
clothes
just
at-
gonna.
And also
name
goes
stuff
with
to
sports
fight.
movies of real life.
Oh,
Because that was based on
Although
the true story.
She did mention we hadn't talked at all about We Are Marshall, and we need to at least
We need to mention that's an underdog story. That's a town that got together and came back from a huge fucking devastation. I had a chance to
They
actually.
lost their whole
I've been to
goddamn
Marshall,
team.
West Virginia. I rolled in there. It was a snowstorm. I rolled right by the university. I fucking got to the hotel. It was a snowstorm, so I got to the hotel, parked my shit, woke up the next day, it stopped snowing, went to my first job, and I'm like, wait a minute. Is this the Marshall from the movie, like the college We Are Marshall? She's like, yeah. And it was this older lady, and she was like, yeah, I remember, the day the news came across. I mean, she was in like her 70s, so she was alive and the whole thing. And we had a nice little conversation about it. And that literally crushed the town. And this whole town came back and supported that, like they lost so many lives.
Almost like a town called Derry, where a bunch of kids disappear and it crushes the entire town.
Just saying.
They just ignore it. Remember, they just put one over top of the other.
By
They
the way,
ignored it.
go
That's kind of an
Go
underdog story.
see it.
Go
we're
see
we're
it.
gonna do some write-ups or something on GUI podcast.
Yeah, I got an
goddamn
article.
right.
Well, Groot's fucking posted his buddy's article, and like we didn't have a chance to write an article yet.
No, we'll get it.
We're gonna-
We'll
we're
get it.
gonna-
I've got some solid shit to say about that.
Yeah, I do too.
All right, where we could go on forever about all of this shit. Sports movies based on real life. I did want to mention Glow, but since there has been such an argument about WWE, I'm not going to even
No,
go
Glow's
there.
good.
No, it's the same fucking thing. I'm not going to go there.
Girl,
this is
I got
another
you.
argument. This is another conversation in itself. But I want you guys to talk about the sports movie tropes that you guys feel. The first one that I want to mention, but I want you guys to talk about is that tough coach.
Amen to that.
Oh, well,
Varsity Blues.
oh no,
Absolutely, varsity
League of Their
Blues.
Own.
League of Their. I don't know.
No.
John Boyd takes Tom Hanks.
No,
Okay.
John
Yeah,
Boyd
yeah.
was a fucking piece of shit.
He was.
My real life.
I'm gonna get my CAT
Her
scan.
coach does suck.
No, the fucking program above
Yeah,
and beyond
the
anything
program.
I
else.
said it, not
was-
you.
That was a nasty little view into that world of drugs and
The program,
basically drugging them up.
That coach was a fucking monster.
Right?
But that's the thing, that's a lot of those coaches, a lot of those people, and that's what they depict is the success that they're striving for, that admiration from the public. They're willing to sacrifice their players for that. Their players, although, are working for the team and their coach, thinking they're doing something grand. And that's and oftentimes like Varsity Blues, that's a sad fact of that.
Yeah.
In fact. So someone who has a coach that's rather tough in real life, Coach Mike, if you ever listen to this, I'm sorry. But I've been playing.
I don't know
I've
you,
been
Mikey
playing
Poo.
with Mother State Roller Derby for about 4 years. And if anyone knows Coach Mike, they call him lots of nice things, lots of not nice things. But I will say that having a coach like that you feel like no matter what you do, it's not good enough, like in the movies, is real, and it makes you want to be a better player, because not only are you trying to prove to yourself that you can do things that you didn't think you could ever do, but you
coach.
want to prove it to your coach. Like,
Yeah.
I'm fucking here, and I'm trying really hard, and I'm sweating my ass off for 4 hours, and I'm putting bitches on the ground, and I'm
It's like the
fucking
stereotypical
breaking shit and
80s
getting
dad.
black eyes and all the shit that we do in, in sports and roller derby and all other sports. But like having a coach like that, I know a lot of people have in real life, and it's something that it sucks, but it's also very, very fucking awesome because you work your ass off not only to prove it to them, but to yourself that like you can be better and you can always be better. And that's, as an athlete, like that's all you want to do is just try to be better at what you're doing, whatever it is.
I want to go from the other aspect of coaches as far as tropes in movies. I mean, we've got, you got the asshole coach, and that happens, but there are, I'm going to regurgitate some movies that have been named, but there's solid coaches too. I mean, you've got We Are Marshall. You got Matthew McConaughey's portrayal of that coach, who was a fucking phenomenal coach. Denzel, remember the Titans?
Yes.
You've got fucking Billy Bob Thornton in Friday Night Lights, who was a fucking great coach. And then you've got oh god damn it,
Emilio Estevez and Mighty Ducks.
no. Invincible. What the fuck's his name?
Oh fuck.
He was JFK in the JFK miniseries. What the fuck is his name?
God damn it, I can't
He was in Little Miss
remember.
Sunshine. He was the dad. What was his name?
Greg Kinnear.
Greg Kinnear
Kinnear,
as the
yes.
coach of the Eagles. I mean, these are good coaches.
Yes, they were.
Solid fucking coaches. Good.
I forgot my point, and I'm gonna buy time until I remember what I was talking
Shut your
about.
face.
Okay.
Go ahead, Katie. Go ahead, Katie.
There you go.
Thanks for that insight.
Going on with the underdog story and with the sports movie tropes, like it kind of being a fan of this team, and a lot of people give me shit for it, but I absolutely love Fever Pitch.
Oh God, is that
No.
fucking
That's
Boston
not a sports
baseball?
movie.
That was
It
with Drew
is-
Barrymore and
It is a sports movie.
no,
It's all
that's
about the fucking Red Sox.
No,
That's a romantic comedy.
That's what Drew Barrymore and what's
based around
It's Drew Barrymore and what's his face, right?
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon. That was a shitty movie.
He even laughed a lot. He couldn't even keep a goddamn straight face in a movie.
Why
Got to get the kiss on the down the field. No, movie fucking terrible.
Why are the guys
Mickey.
always
Said
rom-coms are okay, guys.
Mickey, a coach?
Mickey.
Yes, Mickey.
As far as coaches,
Oh,
oh Rocky, oh
Frankie
Rocky. I don't want to do it.
Valentine.
but he even got angry, like when they were shitting on Rocky. He threw his fucking soup at the TV. Like he was like all up in it though. He was like part of the family when it came to Rocky.
Now,
Nick was a good fucking coach.
what I
Nick was
will
the
give
shit.
to Fever Pitch is that above and beyond any other sports movie, the timing on that movie was unbelievably perfect. They were planning that movie years ahead of time, and it just so happened to be around 2004 where
And it's actually based off a Nick Hornsby book.
Yes.
About fucking
talking to the microphone.
Microphone.
shit.
And it just so happens that was the year that the Red Sox won the pennant. They actually had to change the storyline to fit the Red Sox.
Are those the dangerous stocks? You don't want to go into those?
Red Sox winning the World Series.
That's NASDAQ.
You lose a lot of money on those Red
Speaking of-
Sox.
How hard is it got to be to do a film around a season of a ball team? That's got to be fucking.
It's called Fever Pitch. It's not.
Speaking of coaches, can we talk about Carl Weathers and Happy Gilmore? God damn it, with his fucking wooden hand.
Oh my God, I love
Come
it.
on,
Yeah.
man.
I love it.
It's all in the hip.
It's
All in the hip. Oh, I'm sorry. That was said to go on that. Yeah.
You
Great
have
coach.
to go Happy Gilmore.
You have to. He was a great coach.
You have to.
Great coach.
To
To end
my white
anything
ass
off
ball.
on a good note is Happy Gilmore, right?
Right.
Yeah,
That's true.
Happy Gilmore is always a good note to end on.
It's one of those movies that even like 10 years from now or 15 years from now, as we're much
What
older.
is it, like tap, tap?
Tap, tap, tap.
A
it
little
in.
tap,
Just
tap, tapping.
Tap,
it in.
tap it in.
Taparoo.
Tap, tap, tap.
Give it a
it.
Go to your home.
Tap,
You
tap,
good
tap.
One of the
your home.
tropes that I think it does define the feeling of the movie is you have the individual who comes to the team and makes a difference, and that is the outcome at the end, kind of like Invincible, like Mark Wahlberg,
The
Vince
replacements.
Papali joined it, and that made a difference. Then you have where the team comes together over adversity, which makes the difference. So like those are the two biggest I've seen, like Rudy coming to the team, Vince Papali coming to the team. But then you have to remember Titans, where the team comes together, all individuals as a group. You've got those. Those are the two big ones.
And watching it as a viewer or somebody who maybe is not athletic, just the simple act of watching it and knowing that these guys were able to overcome that, even if it's in a movie, even if it's not reality, maybe I can. And that's the beautiful thing about these movies and why we're even talking about it, because they can actually give you the hope that you can't get from real life. Just a depiction of what real life used to be.
I think it's interesting, like, being able to, like, so I never played sports till I was in my later 20s, and, like, being able to watch a sports movie as a younger, you know, Mighty Ducks, Rookie of the Year, still getting all the same feelings from that, and then now playing a sport and being like, you know, it's up to you, like, don't fuck it up, like, we're gonna lose if you fucking get a track cut or whatever and go to the box and get a penalty. Like, those feelings are even, like, now when I watch sports movies, I look at it almost in a different way, because I'm like, I know what that feeling's like. I know what it's like to be there and be like, damn, like, this is about to be make it or break it, like, everyone's relying on me. But it's really awesome because I feel like sports movies in that way, like, relate to everyone, like being the underdog in life in general, you know, being able to, like, just try to overcome whatever the obstacle is. So
we're all underdogs
We're all
every
underdogs.
single
Yeah.
day.
Yeah,
All of us
actually-
are underdogs.
If you're not literally living on top of the world, like, you're an underdog.
That's
And
actually
I-
the
and
best
I-
thing to come from sports movies.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I actually, a couple years ago, I played a kickball team. Like, so look in your community and see what you have to play for
By-
sports.
by
Like,
yourself?
just fucking, yes, I just went out into a
Take
field
them
and
all on?
fucking kicked a
Fuck
ball.
all of you.
Yeah.
And she
like-
won every game.
I
Yeah.
bet she did. That's that Ginger Fury.
I actually have a really good picture of me, like, falling in the mud and just me standing there just being like,
Yes.
yeah, I fell in mud and this is what happened.
I love you,
That is a
Katie.
good point. There's
but just
plenty-
there's enough things out there in every community, like little or big, to go out there and enjoy.
And that's the thing, you don't have to play in the NFL to get that feeling. You know, any type of mud obstacle run or marathon or roller derby team or, you know, local dodgeball where you're
Yeah.
holding a beer and playing dodgeball. Like, we have that here in Richmond. Like,
there's
there's
plenty
tons
of beer
of
leagues.
stuff that-
And
There's
that's
plenty of beer
what it
baseball
was.
leagues.
Yes.
It's like I belonged to a kickball like beer league
Hell
where
yeah,
it was
that's
more
awesome.
like it was more kickball than social, but you could decide like what realm you wanted to be in.
Right.
But there are things out there for everybody. So if you want to be involved in sports, like, go out there and see what's out there in your community, because it's amazing, and it's like it's so invigorating and so
fresh.
energizing
Yeah.
for
Even
you.
if it's downhill rollerblading, like, you know,
Whatever.
really put your heart into it.
Airborne, motherfucker.
Goddamn right.
Motherfucking
Goddamn
airborne.
right.
And to shut both of you off, I'm just going to say subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes and Stitcher. Like, just go out and look at what GUI Podcast has to offer for you. Follow us on GUIPodcast.com. Thanks to Gojira Experiment and Little Girl on the intro, and Creepazoids for Dead by Dawn on the intro. And just enjoy us.
Enjoy it.
That sounds so hot.
in your ear,
What's
in your
the thing
mouth.
that people say at the end of the episode?
I don't know.
Shut the fuck up, Katie.
Join us.
Or die. Join us.
Okay, I'll do it. Join us or
We all
die.
float down
No,
here.
we just did a
I
thing.
just
we
fucking
did a thing.
said it.
I
Join
just-
us. Were you trying to do a
Fuck,
thing? Did I steal
just-
your thing?
We all
Hobbit, what
float
the fuck
down
are you
here.
doing?
Hobbit, I love you.
Join us or die, or I will swallow your soul. Necronomicon gives us power to rise from the dead. You play to take, or play against the spread. You can fight all you want, cause you fail to resist. We're here to take the world and rule with all your fists. So join us or die, join us or die, or I will swallow your soul.
GUIPodcast.com.